Welcome, everyone, to the Commentary Podcast. I am your host, Pat Brennan. Today on the podcast, we are going to be continuing our Christopher Nolan director series with Tenet. It was released in 2020, and it is written and directed by Christopher Nolan. The film stars John David Washington, Robert Pattinson, Elizabeth Debicki, Dimple Kapadia, Michael Caine, and Kenneth Branagh. Armed with the only word Tenet and fighting for the survival of the entire world, CIA operative, the protagonist, journeys through a twilight world of international espionage on a global mission that unfolds beyond real time. Joining me for the rewatch of the director series, as always, are my two co-hosts, Vikash and Martin. But we actually have a very special guest today. We are also joined by Mia Khalifa. She is the founder of Shaitan.world. She's also a public figure. We are very honored and was very excited to have her on. So I will drop all of her information in the episode description. If you don't know who she is, she's fantastic. She loves movies. We couldn't be happier to get her on the podcast. She will be joining us hopefully for some more podcasts, but definitely for Oppenheimer. So be on the lookout for that one. I'll drop all of their info as always in the episode description, so please give them all a follow. They're all fantastic, and go ahead and give them a follow. Now, I'm going to be watching the 4K copy I have of Tenet. Unfortunately, it is not available to stream anywhere right now, but you can rent it on Apple for $4, on Amazon for $4, and on Fandango at home for $4. I say we get things kicked off. We are going to be pressing play on Tenet, and I hope you do as well. In 3, 2, and 1.
Okay. Wait. Okay, yeah.
As long as we're in the same general.
Yeah, I know, we're fine.
Immediately, I have no idea what's going on.
There's that
for anybody listening.
logo.
Welcome back to not Cinema Pursuit. Today
Cinema Pursuit.
My bad. We're on
Wrong
the commentary pod. Pat, Martin, and we have a great guest today. Mia, say what's up.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me on, even though I invited myself.
Oh no, we're excited to have you on.
I love the opening opera scene.
This is Ukraine. This is one of the best scenes that Nolan's
Kiev?
done. I've
Is
seen
that
this
what it is?
20
Kiev?
times. Yeah, it's the capital. It might be Kiev.
I can't remember what it is.
So this is before the Ukraine war. This and RR. I don't know if y'all have seen RR yet from India.
I still haven't.
It's on Netflix. Check it out. It's fantastic. But two movies that shot in Ukraine randomly.
This guy kind of looks like what's his name from Bones and All?
Mark Rylance, yeah.
Mark Rylance, that's his name. Yes, I thought it was him. Every time I've watched this, I'm like, is that him? I'm like, no, it's not him.
He was in
Chevalier.
Yeah, that is Chevalier. Yeah.
I love that he uses like the same cast members in all of his movies.
Man, Ludwig, first time working with Nolan.
I will say though, he stresses me out sometimes with his casting. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude,
sometimes sometimes I'm not following it. And that is why I was taken out of my immersion in Dunkirk. Dunkirk is my least favorite Nolan film.
When Harry shows up.
For that reason. Why would he cast Harry Styles?
He was popular.
He probably doesn't know who he is, to be honest, okay?
That's what he said. No, the dude you just said looks like Mark Rylance is he's in the House of the Dragon. He's a Lannister.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Oh yeah, he is. You're right.
He's like I guess he'd be like their great grandfather or something.
What was I gonna say? Speaking of Wicked, me and Mia were just talking about it, but I think they mentioned that Harry Styles was in the running for like the character that is. I can't remember what his name is. Harry Styles or
Fierro.
Ariana Grande is Fierro. That's his name. Yes, Fierro.
Oh.
He doesn't have a
Jonathan
hairline
Bailey's
for that
character.
anymore.
I need to see Wicked this weekend, but
so
I'm
good,
excited.
man.
It's
not Tenet, but it's good.
It's phenomenal.
How many movies beat Tenet, honestly?
Not a lot, to be honest. This is
Actually, my cousin
make an
Akash, I was telling him about all the Nolan stuff, and he's like, "Oh, well, Tenet's like his second best movie behind Interstellar." I was like, "Dang!" I was like, "Not even Oppenheimer." He's like, "No, Oppenheimer's not better than Tenet." I was like,
It's
What?
a lot of hate,
Yeah.
but I think this is a top 3
disagree.
Nolan.
"It is." That
It
drop
is,
right there,
dude.
the beat.
Understanding this movie and getting to see it in IMAX like earlier this year was just like
Actually-
absolutely
re-release?
insane. Yeah, so
actually, tell him the story.
I drove 4 hours to Nashville to go see this with friends on IMAX 70 millimeter, and it was absolutely worth it. We got there, and the minute we sat down, someone was talking through like the opening scene, like this part right here, and I turned around, I was like, dude, we drove 4 hours for this. Shut up. And he left like immediately.
Left?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I looked back at one point, he was gone. So like, there's no way that he was there for more than 20 minutes.
If you all want to come to the AMC Burbank, Chris Nolan shows up sometimes.
Does he really?
Well, you acted like we all gotta fly out.
He lives in Burbank.
But yeah, he seriously does. He's not the only one though, right, Pat? Like a lot of people show up there.
No, like whenever you see those videos of like actors or directors like showing up to a screening, and that's usually the AMC Burbank. Sometimes I guess they'll show up to the Grove one, because that's AMC now. But yeah, it's usually the Burbank one. Guillermo del Toro goes to the Burbank one a lot too. He lives in Burbank.
I heard he also goes to the Universal
City Walk.
City Walk, yeah.
But I feel like that's contractually obligated. Like maybe a couple sprinkles a year.
Paul Thomas Anderson goes there too. I think he was there for the new movie that he's making with Leo.
I got some tea on the new Thomas Anderson movie that I can't really spill. If y'all want to hear it.
Well then why did you tell me?
Here's the thing is I can say that I know something, but I can't say what it is. Tiana Taylor came into my work recently, and I know the title of it, and I'm just not gonna leak it.
Is it the Bolton Scruggs name, or is it something else?
I can't confirm nor deny, but I know the name of it, and I talked to her, and she was really cool.
Oh.
Okay.
And she said Paul Thomas Anderson was a delight to work with, and I love to hear that.
Yeah, he's a G.
Well,
okay, talk about JD.
I have Alien
JD
Earth
in this movie, man.
I can talk about, but I'm not going to.
Well, because if you talk about it, you get fired.
That's true.
I love this opening scene. It's this. You have The Dark Knight Rises, The Dark Knight. What else? He's got the juice in Oppenheimer.
I think the Oppenheimer opening scene's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Whenever
that entire
the music
first
turns on, goosebumps.
The Prometheus line on screen.
Oh my God.
Bro.
No, I left my soul left my body when that came up.
I have
How
the
did
book.
everyone see Tenet? Did y'all see it in theaters in 2020?
Yeah.
I saw
it in the re-release.
I saw it in theaters 2020. I saw it when it came out again because I didn't understand it the first time. I wanted to read the subtitles because the sound mixing is awful. You can't understand.
It really is. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Even at home, I have to switch the levels.
Kenneth Branagh's voice at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Russian accent is thick.
He's good in this movie, but his accent is thick as hell.
Where's my man?
Where's Robert Pattinson?
The only flaw of Nolan is he's just not good on sound mixing.
I think he goes.
I don't think that's him. Is that
he
him?
didn't do that.
It is him. Yeah.
I think that's Ludwig Göransson, if anything, supervising.
No. Like when it comes to the sound mixing, like it's usually the director, and they'll sit in a place and do it.
Well,
and he did the same thing in Interstellar when Michael Caine dies. Yeah. Like you can't hear anything that man says.
With Wicked too, because I guess a lot of the criticism is like the color of it. It's like,
well, it starts really low. Also, it's very low.
And like he even said, like these theaters need to like pull their like sound up. And I was like, I mean, you could have done that.
You have to,
yeah. Like, and
you can only do so much of that before the audio bleeds into the next auditorium.
Yeah, it's like true.
That's what people were saying online.
They all sit in coloring sessions. Like they're not like just like here's the edit. Now I'm gonna go hang it like at my house while you guys do all this.
I have a theory about color grading right now.
So color grading, it depends on like if you have the DP supervising, like they might come in, they might not come in. And when you get to a DI, when you're like coloring the movie, like the director should be there, but sometimes it's not them making the decisions.
So my theory with color grading is because I mean you got Nolan here. He's kind of killing it when it comes to this, and he's a very big physical media advocate. Is that most customers, I mean, and I say customers because I work in home theater sales, but most consumers are not buying physical media, and as a result, a lot of what you're watching movie-wise is being compressed. You're getting a lot of black levels that are color blocking.
But also on audio, right?
Audio to an extent. Audio is way worse, actually, but at the end of the day, like, with audio at least you can kind of fix it. Yeah, whereas the video, it like can vary depending on your internet speed. So my theory is that because so many TVs and like the way that movies are being watched because of streaming, they have to use low color resolution like Wicked, like where it's flat kind of look, and it doesn't block it as much, it doesn't compress it as much. So whenever it goes to streaming, it doesn't look as shitty. Okay. Whereas if you use like a physical disc, it could retain some of that color information. It wouldn't look as bad. That's my theory, honestly. And that's why so many movies look like shit now as well when it comes to dark scenes. If you ever seen that theory about people saying like, oh, well, movies aren't well lit anymore. They can be well lit if they want to. I think that they're just trying to hide all the imperfections.
Yeah. But it's also a problem that they have HDR now, like high dynamic range, whatever it is.
Dolby Vision to an extent too.
Like Mia, have you watched Game of Thrones? There's The Long Night. There's an episode where you can't see anything.
You can't see anything, and it makes you get lost. Like fight scenes are literally choreography, and you have to be able to follow it cohesively. You can't do too many cuts. You can't do too much. Like we have to be able to have like orientation within a fight 100%. Scene. And that's what a lot of them lack.
I waited for House of the Dragon to hit Blu-ray to watch season 2, and it's still way too dark with the Dolby Vision.
Really?
It looks like shit. Like you can't see fucking anything.
It doesn't look good at all.
The fight scene in Lord of the Rings is always the one that's commended. How did they do that?
Helm's Deep.
Helm's Deep.
I don't like Lord of the Rings. It overstimulates me. Like
that's actually like a great.
You should watch the extended cuts, Mia.
Yeah, I know. We're about to do it on my podcast. We're about to do Lord of the Rings. Only 3 hours.
What is this guy's name? The main character?
Frodo.
Like this protagonist's name.
Frodo.
The protagonist name of this movie. What's his name?
His name is Protagonist.
I love that.
I love that so
It's so stupid. It's so funny.
I have a long like running bit that like Nolan accidentally sent the first draft in, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna name the protagonist." He's like, yeah, totally. That's what I was going for." Like, shit. No.
He just was gonna name it something else, and then they were like, "We like this. We like this."
No, it's so good.
So Mia, do you like James Bond movies? Do you like spy movies in general?
I like James Bond movies. I do. Pierce Brosnan is my favorite Bond.
Whoa, I don't know why. I didn't expect
underrated.
No, like heartthrob wise, he is my favorite Bond, and therefore all of his films are the best.
GoldenEye.
They are amazing. Like they are so camp. GoldenEye is amazing, but
so Mia,
GoldenEye, World's Not Enough, Nolan. Tomorrow Never Dies.
We brought you in because of Nolan, but tell us, who are your other filmmakers that like when they release a film, you have to be there day one?
Denis Villeneuve.
Oh yes, dude.
Any Pixar movie, literally, like actually any Pixar movie.
What's your top Villeneuve film?
David Fincher. It's Dune 2. Dune 2, not Dune 1 though.
Oh, wait, what the fuck? Wait, why not 1?
What do you mean? Because it is like objectively 2 is a much better film visually.
Yeah, I agree.
Like structurally, plot wise, everything.
I love
like
part
the
1,
build-up.
but facts are facts. Mine is Blade Runner.
I see it as one movie, to be honest.
True,
but that's just me. I just like me with Lord of the Rings. You can, and I will.
I think his best film is Arrival. Still, I think it is.
Arrival's solid though. That's what's crazy. Is that like any of his movies, you could pull out as bangers.
What's your favorite Fincher? You said Fincher, right?
Oh yeah. My bad.
7.
Damn right.
Are you going to the IMAX release?
Or gone, huh?
Are you going to the IMAX release? They're re-releasing that in IMAX soon.
4K.
They are
January.
In 4K, yeah.
Absolutely. Then.
December
6th is in my calendar.
Let's all just hang out and go see IMAX.
Where do you all live without doxing yourselves?
I'm in Atlanta. I don't care. I've doxed myself online enough.
That's terrifying.
I'm in Savannah, like 4 hours away from him.
Okay.
And then Pat's in LA.
I'm in Los Angeles, yeah.
I'm in Miami.
Oh, okay. That's not too
We all
bad.
live like 8 to 20 hours away from each other.
Mia, to be fair, I mean, I'm not doxing myself pretty bad at all. Like everyone in Atlanta, actually, I would say that like film-wise on Twitter, I'm pretty active on there, and I feel like everybody knows that I'm in Atlanta now because I just say so much shit about Atlanta. I love it here.
Atlanta's amazing.
It's so much fun, dude. I love the film scene here. Shout out
there's a good film scene. I just like the food scene there. Everyone is so nice. It's beautiful.
Shout out to the Plaza. Shout out to the Terra. I love going to see 35 mil screenings there. They're showing, funny enough, Mia,
Lord of the Rings
on 35 mil right now, and I missed it to be on this.
Isn't watching Lord of the Rings on 35 mil? Oh no, never mind.
The Two Towers right now.
So what's that?
That's the second installment.
Oh, I thought you were. thought you were referencing 9/11.
Oh my
I thought you had moved on to like talking about
Sauron.
what's the
Anyways,
what's that
what
movie?
are your opinions on 9/11 anyway?
Right off the jump.
Dude,
So
this movie would be a
where
lot
do y'all
better
know
if the
this lady
storyline-
from? This actress, y'all know her
she
from Harry
is
Potter,
Harry
right?
Potter,
Harry
Goblet of
Potter.
Fire.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
what's her name? Fleur
Fleur!
Delacour.
Fleur Delacour. And then Ron's brother
that means
just
flower
takes
of the
her.
heart, which is so fucking cute. J.K. Rowling has like zero creativity, but as long as she puts it in another language, she can get away with it.
Oh yeah, because for the Indian girl, it's Pavarti Patel. That shit's Cho
No,
Chang. That
yo,
shit is
they
so
did
fucking.
her
weird.
so dirty.
So fucked up.
That
Are
was fucked up.
you a big Harry Potter fan, Mia?
I am. Yeah, I'm a huge.
What's your
Harry Potter
favorite
fan.
novel and what's your favorite movie?
My favorite book was. My favorite movie is the third one, just
Okay.
because,
Right.
like,
Prisoner of
Right.
Azkaban.
exactly.
Correct.
But my favorite
Alfonso.
Alfonso, exactly. My favorite book was the seventh one, just because it was like I went to the midnight release as a kid. Like I went to a Barnes and Noble midnight
I did
release.
too. I went to a
Unforgettable.
Borders though. I went to a Borders. Not
I miss
Borders.
Borders.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Borders.
5 and 7 are the best books.
And
Yeah,
my friend
five.
No,
Oh my god.
Five is
They
Five is the
butchered the
worst.
movie
Five
on
was
5.
so
so much
good. They really
happening.
did. There was so much more depth to it in the book, and the movie didn't do it
Oh, yeah.
justice.
And when it gets
movie's
to the
grown on me
Department
a
of
lot,
Mysteries, the movie grows on you, but like they could have done so much more. It could have been
Yeah.
so like
It's
The world
sci-fi
building was
weirdness.
like there for
Setup.
the taking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 was a pivot to like David
The
Yates
dark
taking over and
side, a
being like, we
little.
gotta
Yeah.
change everything now.
Yeah.
Because Mike Newell didn't even read the books.
Yeah, but it was
Really?
like Goblet of Fire is kind of like teen angsty vibes, and I
Yeah,
like it for
Mike-
it, but I kind
But
of
I
don't.
feel like a lot of the acting also reflected how those kids were like literally the actors, how they were feeling at the time, because nothing
Yeah.
is more awkward than the first and second ones. Like literally nothing.
And-
It's so uncomfortable to see them go through puberty live in action.
So
Especially
what?
the second one. The
like,
second one is
yeah,
like pure
yeah.
puberty.
But Quaron, he went and kind of got all the kids together, and he's like, okay, why are they got to be in robes? Take the robes off. Let's try to give them personality. Let's try, and he tried to cultivate an actual personality
he
for
did.
all
He's
those
the one that
kids,
changed it,
and
honestly.
he changed everything.
Yeah.
And every time you watch Prisoners of Azkaban, it is fantastic.
I mean,
I like that she's got a little small rig cage on this camera.
Yeah, I saw that.
Small rig shout out.
Yeah.
You hear what she said though? Don't try to understand it. Feel it, cat.
Feel it. That's it.
All you gotta do.
No, that's what I do when I watch this movie. I don't understand it, but I feel it.
it's beautiful. It's well acted. It sounds great. Well, the score is great. The mixing.
I think the score is good. It's
of
not.
course.
I
And
think when
that
you-
Travis
I don't
Scott
think you
song
read
at
it
the
well.
end, that's fucking hype. Come
Dude,
on, Nolan
the
got
plan,
so
the
many cool
plan.
movies. Actually,
I always
no,
say-
that wasn't Nolan. That was definitely Ludwig,
Ludwig.
because he also
Yeah.
produced
yeah.
Childish Gambino's
I
first
know.
album.
I'm
Yep.
always
Oh
excited.
So-
dang! So she knows Ludwig then.
Yeah,
He's
Ludwig.
got his
I
hand in
mean,
that bag.
when
No,
this
I
done so
love
much,
him.
like,
I love him. Like as a
fantastic.
producer, not even just as a composer. I'm so happy that
Oh,
he
yeah.
pivoted into this.
I was in high school when Because of the Internet came out, and I just remember that bar about Ludwig. I was like, "Who's Ludwig?" And then we're like googling it, like, "Who is this man?" And then just had a mountain of respect for him ever since. In the back of this,
Yeah.
that's a painted wall right there to make it like longer.
Oh, so it's kind
Matt
of
Painting's
practical.
fan.
Yeah, it's a practical.
Oh,
Oh,
like
I can
filmmaking.
actually see. I can actually
Yeah.
see the Wile E. Coyote wall.
Yep.
Yeah,
Old school
all of it's
filmmaking, yeah.
painted.
That's really
Yeah.
cool.
You don't really notice it because it's out of focus. But
No,
I mean,
but also I think it's much more like natural and blending in than a green screen would have been.
yeah.
100%.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Use those matte paintings. Bring back the early cinema.
This
Explaining how
Scene
matte
is
paintings
so
work
well
to someone
colored.
is so hard to do. Because I tried to
I
explain to someone recently, and it was like, how do I explain this without
Mumbai.
sounding stupid?
I went to the Academy
That's
Museum,
my
and they
city
still
right
have
there.
the Academy
I'm
Museum
going to
still has
Mumbai
the
in 2 months.
giant matte painting from North by Northwest there. It's still sitting
Oh
there.
yeah, that thing is fantastic. I can't wait to
Do
see
you
it.
guys remember
come to
like all
LA.
the footage of this, like like in the trailers, and people thought it was like related to Inception because of
Yeah.
that guy from Inception?
Just this.
I know we
Yeah.
talked about it in the Inception episode too, but it's just so funny to think about.
So this shot right here, the two shot of him looking up at the building and where he's taking this call are not in the same place.
Oh no, there's
how do
no
you
way.
know?
because I've looked it up on Google Maps when I
Oh,
was watching the
wow,
movie.
that's so cool.
This is the third time I watched the movie this year. Just
Ooh, we
randomly.
got our pets.
Batman's walking in.
Look, cutie
Batman's walking in.
patootie.
Wow.
There he is.
No,
My
that's an
man.
entrance.
Oh,
I can't wait to see him in that Mickey 17 movie.
Yeah. Bong
He
Joon-ho,
is such a
fantastic director.
weird little rat. I love him so much.
Mia, have you seen Good
Wait.
Time?
Yeah.
Oh
Weird,
my
but
god,
like, but
yes.
he's not weird little rat there. He's just like
No,
scraggly
he's-
little rat there.
Have you-
Here's
I
a weird
want him
little
to
rat
be-
here.
Yeah.
Have you listened to the Twilight commentaries when he just makes fun of the movies the entire time?
I fucking love the Twilight commentaries.
That's
Like,
no.
I think it's the third one. He's like
He's
like, look at
dogging
this
on
scene.
it the
He's
whole
like,
time.
Yeah, he's like look at this scene. He's like, look at your wig. Like, look how bad that looks. Like, you just
The wigs in that movie
He's
are a
"This is
hate
so
crime.
bad." He's basically just like, this is so bad. The entire
You guys
time.
see the wigs in Fantastic Four, like for the reshoots?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That one was
yeah.
awful.
Well, like
That
what,
one's-
this is such an easy thing to solve with slightly more budget or with like more attention to hair continuity while
The
filming. I don't
problem-
understand how they don't see that like that is going to take
Yeah.
everybody out of their immersion.
They don't
Mhm.
give them enough money. That's the problem. Like they just don't care, which is frankly
Yeah.
disrespectful to anybody who does wardrobing, anybody that does makeup. Incredibly disrespectful to them because they count as below the line. They're not above the line in the sense of like how they get paid and like how quote unquote important they are to the movie. Okay, cool details real quick. If you go to India, all the roofs are pretty much like that. They have that like cracked mosaic tile that's on the ground, or it's the roof, but it's the
Wow,
whatever.
that's really pretty.
It's beautiful, and
I love
Nolan
this
obviously
scene.
has a love for like India, which he will be back there yet again doing something, and this is just badass. Like
Yeah.
who thinks of this? Like who? Like no one? Like you're gonna bungee jump?
This is
onto
his
a
Bond movie, dude.
skyscraper? No,
This is
okay.
his Bond movie.
That's
Whenever
that,
people
that's
have
it.
when people have talked about
So-
online about him making a Bond movie, I'm like, this is his Bond movie. Like, this is
Okay.
so fucking cool
And
to
it's
watch.
so much better than a Bond movie because it doesn't have to have those like
Constrictions.
Monologue.
kitschy through lines. Yeah, exactly.
Look at
The
that.
one of the
Villain
constraints of
monologue
like
right
time
there.
inversion is so cool.
So Nolan, what do you call it? Steven Spielberg, Indiana Jones, and then James Cameron with True Lies. They were all more or less denied or didn't want to make Bond movies, so they made their own spy movies.
Oh, Spielberg's been trying to make a Bond movie forever, and
I mean, he
just like,
did.
no.
He scratched that itch with Indiana Jones. He was like,
Indiana
"Oh,
Jones,
they want to say no, then screw y'all. I'm gonna make Indiana Jones and make better movies." Kind
Make
of.
a better movie than Bond, honestly.
I
Yeah.
am not into Indiana Jones.
That's fair.
Very cold take.
I mean,
I'm a
I love
huge Spielberg
adventure
guy.
movies.
That's my
I
favorite
know.
director.
I like 1 and
Well, do
3
you-
the most.
do you like the Mummy, like the 1999 Mummy? Mia?
With what's his name? Brendan Fraser.
Brendan
yeah.
Fraser,
But he's
Academy
so he's so
Award
charming.
winning
You can't not like him in a
Brendan
role.
Fraser.
You mean you don't like
Yeah.
the Tom Cruise 2017 Mummy?
Stop bringing up that movie. That movie's ass. Stop.
Which movie?
The
The
2017
Tom Cruise
the Mummy
2017
movie?
The Mummy.
The Mummy.
Oh my god.
Because I love the 1999 Mummy, like Rachel Weisz, Brendan Fraser, just a super hot
I
movie.
think the
just
idea
one
that like
time.
that movie pisses you off is just funny now to think about.
Stop it.
Because it's like it doesn't cross my mind for more than 2 seconds.
I know.
Yeah,
I just
I
thought
know.
about it right now, honestly.
So the woman here in this scene, this is Dimple Kapadia. She's her husband was more or less the equivalent of like a Harrison Ford in India in Bollywood. She's a good actress too. I
It's
do have
kinda
a
funny
story about
that-
her though.
She mentions Oppenheimer in this too. Like
yeah,
whenever
she
she does,
does.
it's like that meme of Leo.
But this is why Oppenheimer
Yep.
was made.
Hmm
Robert Pattinson gifted him the book at the wrap party.
He's so good for that. Like Robert Pattinson, man.
Kind of
Well, my
crazy
dad-
that there's like the what's that called, like the domino effect of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, I've seen one go as far back as it goes as far back as Twilight. If Twilight was never written and 50 Shades was never like the flow chart
Yeah,
of how
yeah.
Oppenheimer
Well,
was
like
made.
Oppenheimer was because of
Yeah.
the book. Robert
The
Pattinson's an
butterfly
actor because of
effect of how-
Twilight. Twilight was
exactly.
made because of My Chem. My Chem happened because of 9/11. It happened because of 9/11.
Exactly. 9/11.
Bro,
that's
9/11.
We're talking about 9/11,
We have
dude.
2 9/11 references in this podcast.
It's gonna get flagged.
Okay. So Dimple, the lady here, when my dad was living in Mumbai, like when he was growing up, he and his friends went to the beach, and there's a girl in her night dress, like in a nightgown, just like staring at my dad from across the beach. They get closer, and it ended up being her, actually.
Dang, Vikash, she could have been like standing here as her son, low key.
I could have been a. I could have been a.
You tell us that's your mom?
No, surprise! I'm a nepo baby.
I could have been a nepo baby.
I know.
We all could have been really low key.
You know this fact. My grandfather dated Claude Rains' daughter.
That's crazy.
Could have been. What could have been? My great great grandfather could have been in Casablanca.
He looks incredible.
This is the movie that made me believe that stunts needs its own department at the Oscars.
100%. So the guy who did the stunts for this, his name's Stuart Cottle. He is fantastic. He said that Nolan is probably one of the only directors who actually shoots his own stuff, though.
No, he's there every day.
Yeah, and like Stuart,
he doesn't pee. He doesn't pee on set either.
No chairs, no pee breaks, no phones,
chairs, no pee breaks.
UTIs for everybody.
Dude, have y'all heard that story about James Cameron like drilling someone's phone to a fucking like door?
Yeah, stapling it to a wall.
Stapling it to a wall because he hates phones on set. That's crazy.
Michael Caine is.
Oh, Michael Caine.
Michael Caine, R.I.P. Not R.I.P. But for what he dies.
R.I.P.
By the way, Dark Knight Rises. That is why it's my favorite, because of him Michael at the
Caine.
end, seeing him sitting like that ending, the way they wrap that up. No,
see, I'll be sitting there crying if I'm actually watching the movie. I'm crying.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, we didn't have Mia for Dark Knight Rises, so we didn't get to hear her Bane voice.
I know.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Yes.
Mia, you got to whip out your Bane voice.
Ask me after I smoke next. That'll.
The fire rises.
Take control of your city.
Martine's voice is like fantastic. Like you can listen to it back on the pod, and it sounds like Bane.
I watched an interview recently where he seemed proud of it. Does he not know that we hated it as a collective?
I didn't hate it. I know what you're talking about. What? I love his voice. I think it's awesome. It's fucking
Bane's
stupid
voice?
as shit. Yeah.
It's not good.
Okay,
it's
so
almost as bad as Batman's in the first one.
They changed his voice. They changed it like too, yeah.
Yeah, but like we were all doing Bane impressions for like, I don't know, like 6 months after the Dark Knight Rises came out.
Wow, an offline meme.
The way that like that whole meme happened of like the guys thinking about the Roman Empire, that was guys for 6 months after Dark Knight Rises.
I was in college, and then like we'd be at parties doing Bane voices, like drunk, and I'm like, what? Like looking back on it, you're like, what am I doing, man?
Maybe it was a cultural reset.
Yeah,
honestly. I think my favorite.
How many great villains have we had since Bane for superhero movies? Honestly,
no, truly, yeah.
Thanos, Killmonger, maybe that's about it.
Thanos was good. Thanos was good because you as long as you can sympathize with a villain.
I remember watching Infinity War, and I was like, he's got some points.
Like, he does. Like, it wasn't like he was choosing anybody specific. It was at random.
Talk about Killmonger. That's why I like Killmonger. The best villains are the ones. I was talking about it for Gladiator. Your best villains are the ones where you understand where they're coming from, but the solutions they have to solve the problems are completely incorrect.
Have you seen Gladiator?
Have you guys seen the? I have.
I have not yet. I have
not yet.
Have you seen it? Yeah.
No.
It was
the reference was 10 out of 10 though.
It was awful.
How are you on Ridley Scott?
I wanted to pull my phone out.
How are you on Ridley Scott in general?
That's
a lot
a
of
good
respect.
question.
We'll watch almost every movie.
What's his best, do you think?
I have to.
In your opinion,
let's see.
In your humble opinion,
I think Ridley, like
Elizabeth.
My thing
Elizabeth
is Ridley
Debicki 6'3".
She's a stallion.
His director's
she's a stallion.
His director's cuts are the movie to me. That's why it's like he even said I have a 4-hour cut of Gladiator 2. It's like, okay, well then
honestly, I want to wait for it.
It's like I waited for Napoleon. I still watched Napoleon. It's like, okay, well, this is the movie because he just cuts it down just because the studio tells him to. But he just makes 4-hour movies.
The Napoleon theatrical cut I thought was really bad personally. The director's cut fixed it a little bit for me.
Because as a plot, it's like Kingdom of Heaven is a perfect example. Like Kingdom of Heaven theatrical cut is awful. and you watch the director's cut, and you're like, wait, this movie actually makes a lot more sense now. And this
that's the problem with Napoleon is that the theatrical cut was just super choppy.
Ridley Scott instead
just
of
one scene after another.
The problem with his
really
is
connects.
he needs to be more like selective about which ideas he follows through with.
Well, it's kind of hard to do that, I think, for him as a person, because he's such a big name in films that like he can write a 3-4 hour script and they're like, yeah, go ahead and do it. We'll cut it down anyway. But all of his stuff is so connected that like if you take one scene out, everything falls apart.
Yep. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so I have a tie with my favorite Ridley Scott films. It's A Good Year and American Gangster.
A Good Year?
American Gangster,
dude. A Good Year is like truly like I love that movie so much. That movie makes me feel No. That I love that film so much. And I actually forgot that was Ridley Scott. I'm glad I looked up the filmography before I answered.
Wait, that's
because Gladiator 1 is an easy answer. Yeah.
And Marion Cotillard, yeah.
Oh my god, she was so cute in it.
I love that movie. I used to watch that on HBO all the time in the 2000s.
That was my comfort movie for a very long time.
My HBO comfort movie was 27 Dresses, Pat.
What's that?
Oh,
my comfort movie from HBO was 27 Dresses. I love that movie still to this day.
Mine was 2. It was Uptown Girls and Cheaper by the Dozen 2.
Uptown Girls is crazy.
Rom-com or like children's film.
Uptown Girls is so good.
My sister had that movie. We'd watch it like every fucking day.
Sheets of Egyptian cotton.
Mia, have you seen Moonstruck?
No.
Okay, it's
Cher
and Nicolas Cage. Watch it. I finally saw it this year.
Criterion.
Someone we follow, Film Joe
Mia,
on Twitter.
that could be your first Criterion.
Trust me, you will love that movie.
Okay, but like, what does that mean? Do I have to get the channel? Because I will. Or do I have to get the physical copy?
The Blu-ray. Okay. Hold on, let me see if it's available.
You know what's annoying about deciding to start like a physical collection? I feel like I can't just start and only get movies that I'm like I need to go back and get every movie, and then that feels overwhelming.
I mean, just think about me and Pat. Like we have thousands of copies.
When did you start? How long ago did you start though?
When I was a kid.
2005.
Exactly. I'm a little behind on the game. I'd have to drop a lot of money to be even close to happy with my collection.
$20 on Amazon for your first Criterion.
Perfect.
Personally, I think that would be a great move.
I'll send you the link.
What is this for me? I watched the movie, and then 2 days later, I went to my buddy's house that I do my like other podcasts with, and I watched it with him and his wife because I love the movie that much. And it's a small, cute movie, but
you won an Oscar for that, right?
Do you like what is it, Crazy Stupid Love? If you like that, you'll probably like it. Then this is like the movie before that, like I guess like 30 years before.
Yeah, I think Cher won the Oscar for Moonstruck. I think she did.
Yeah. Or no, I don't know if she did, but I know a supporting actress won. The mom in the movie won.
I'll tell you right now.
Has Elizabeth Debicki been doing anything recently?
Yeah,
she did
The
Crown.
Yeah,
The Crown. Yeah,
that was a big role. She won an Emmy for that.
That's the reason I haven't seen it.
Mia, have you seen Widows? Widows is fantastic.
I'm gonna say Widows is the last thing I could think about.
Viola Davis, Cynthia Erivo, who is in Wicked right now. It's
Colin Farrell,
Elizabeth Debicki,
Colin Farrell, Liam Neeson.
Wow,
it is a fantastic. It's a crime movie, but it's got sauce to it. It's like these women, they're left as widows after their husbands do a robbery and they die, and it's a drama. It's got action. It's a beautiful movie set in Chicago.
Oh, someone forgot to get him his hot sauce. He ordered it an hour ago.
It was actually ketchup.
Is it
ketchup or hot sauce? No, you're right.
I think we should place a bet right now. I think we should place a bet.
Ketchup. I think it's ketchup.
I think we should place a bet. $100.
You're gonna lose the bet. It's hot sauce.
Mia, this is another line that we beam about all the times, though. We really do.
You're gonna lose the bet. It's hot sauce.
I'm gonna
My favorite detail from this fight right here that's coming up is that he picks up a grater and smacks somebody with it. We don't get to see it, but he smacks him with a grater.
There's also a cheese locker at this restaurant that Chris Nolan wanted to break, and the restaurant was like, "No, you cannot break our cheese locker. It's a health hazard. We can't sell the cheese after, so you have to buy all the cheese." So he dropped $25,000 on cheese for this cheese locker.
Good for him. Real AF.
See, Nolan fixes action. Look at this. So good.
Some of these guys over hot sauce. Recently. Hey, the Dark Knight Rises background extras were not good.
Oh.
It reminds me of Born Supremacy
Let's
when
go.
he first goes to that one dude's house and he like uses the magazine and he
Yep,
starts like beating him with it and he starts slapping him with it.
Yep.
Like,
But see, that's the thing about good action, especially if you have
Yeah.
planned fights like this. Like JD had to take so much time to do this physically, especially with the inversion fights. But
They
if
were
you have
running
an
backwards up the hill. They were actually doing all of the sequences backwards instead of putting
were.
it in rewind. That's
I remember
fucking
that
crazy.
when they were shooting that, it was all over Twitter, and people were like, "You guys are so stupid! Like, he's really just resetting the shot." And we were like, "No, like,
No.
he's really doing
No,
this."
no,
I don't think
And
no.
the movie
Chris
releaser was
Nolan
like, "We
is.
fucking told you so."
I don't think you know who Chris Nolan is.
We were like, "He's not just resetting the shot; he's crazy."
Yeah.
Imagine what's gonna happen right now when he starts shooting the stuff with like the helicopters with the new movie. It's gonna be insane.
Is that
Do y'all
is that
follow
confirmed?
Fred North on Instagram? Like he's one of the guys who does all that helicopter work. He's crazy.
It's
Is it-
not
is it
confirmed, but
confirmed
it's
it's a
not.
helicopter?
It's not unconfirmed or on. Like I think that one is the strongest like lead
Yeah.
because it was reported on by a
Or
lot.
put
Like,
it this way, they put it on
think
the
Variety posted about
Production
it.
Weekly, right?
I saw that.
Meaning
yeah.
like, yeah,
The-
it's
the vampire
confirmed
one
to
doesn't
be
make
a
any sense 'cause
helicopter
it's-
movie. It's
the
a
vampire
helicopter
one
movie.
didn't make any sense.
it's just
with,
a
like,
kid
people
making what he wants. Like he
I mean, you can
doesn't
do
care
anything.
what we want to see or what.
I think he
He can
cares
do
what
whatever
we
the hell
want
he
to see because he thinks, I mean, at least he knows that whatever his
scale.
taste is, we're going to
Yeah.
like it.
I think it's one of those things where like he makes movies for himself, but we're just like all here for the fucking ride. Like
Yeah, he makes them with
cool
his wife
fucking
and
movies.
brother. He's just
See,
a
that's the
silly
thing.
goofy guy.
Jonah, like his brother, fantastic writer. He just made Fallout on Prime. But his wife, I don't think we've talked about Emma Thomas enough because
No,
she's the person who
deserves-
puts this stuff together.
Mhm.
Literally.
They were talking about this and they're like, oh, like Chris wants to crash a plane. She's like, I guess we got to figure it out. And
We gotta
like,
get a
you're gonna-
plane.
and they're like,
Well, didn't they say that
so-
like it was like the same price to do it digitally, and they were like, "Fuck, we may
Yeah.
as well just do the
Yeah.
plane."
they did it at an actual airport. That's the thing. So it's like you have to get that cleared. How are you going to get that cleared? Obviously, Nolan like opens doors for
build the
that, but
airport.
still,
The big scale
Fuck.
movie, bro.
screw we just do it.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Okay, the sound mix here just cranks up.
I like his
It's
suit.
like
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
exactly how Ludwig intended for it to be viewed, with headphones on at a minimal volume while talking to three other people.
Exactly.
I got this shit blasting. I don't know what you're talking about.
I might even watch this on my phone now, just to like really get immersed.
Oh yeah. My
Who
phone
was
has
it?
better
Fucking
quality
Ted
than my-
Sarandos that said that shit. Was it? Is it?
Yeah,
Ted
with, that
Sarandos?
his son
Yeah.
watches it.
That
on
his
his
son's an
watch-
editor.
Lawrence
Who
of
watched
Arabia.
Lawrence of Arabia on his phone. Jesus,
I wanted to. I wanted
dude.
To,
I can't
so-
wait to see that in 70 millimeter.
See,
like they're
you've
finally
got
dropping
me
that
stressed
shit.
because like I want to
I-
see.
Do you
it in
have a 70
but I'm
millimeter
like,
theater near you?
There's a theater that does like art house showings of movies on film.
Oh,
That's
you
the
guys
same
are
theater
in,
that's doing the 35 millimeter screening for Lord of the Rings. But at the end of the year, they're showing Lawrence of Arabia on 70 mil, and I've
Wow.
never seen it on 70 mil. It's one of my favorites of all time. I'm not missing that.
you guys are in LA or New York, but there's an app called Paradiso.
Yeah, Ben
and
Mankiewicz was talking about it today.
It's It's Margot Robbie brought it up.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
That episode.
Margot Robbie, what a
it
goat.
shows you like screenings of like things that were shot on film or like playing in like non AMC or Regal theaters. So you can like it has the entire Quentin's theaters are all on there, their entire schedule.
The
and
New
you can click,
Beverly.
oh, yeah, like Lawrence of Arabia is playing tonight in 70 millimeter like down the street. I can go watch it.
That's really
amazing.
cool.
Magnolia 35 is coming to Atlanta too, early December.
Ooh,
I'm surprised
Magnolia's
Atlanta's not on
underrated
here, honestly.
for
on that app.
PTA.
I'm surprised too, but I keep up with all the like art house theaters here, so at least I know what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
There's one in Miami that's really cute. I actually saw Oppenheimer. It's a 70 millimeter theater, and I saw Oppenheimer on it after having seen it in IMAX 70 millimeter. And I had never been to a 70 millimeter theater before, and I must say it was awful.
Life changing. Awful.
No, it was I had just come from IMAX 70 millimeter.
I mean, yeah, it's
To, like-
downgrade, but
like it's
still.
a very
Yeah.
art house. Like,
Yeah.
just 70 millimeter was absolutely not the same.
They're
Yeah.
showing Interstellar in I can't remember where in Florida.
Yeah.
It was in Florida because I considered
Tampa.
It's
driving
like an
there to see
hour and a half away
Interstellar.
from me. It's pretty.
Tampa.
It's pretty close. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
the screens.
I
were
consider doing the
sold out.
drive, and we're just doing
Yeah.
digital now.
All the screens are showed out like around me.
Vikash Patel. This man comes in just randomly in this movie, but he's good.
You mean the guy
You
from
remember that
yesterday?
movie? Yeah, I was gonna say yesterday.
Yeah. He actually
Danny
Station
Boyle.
11 HBO. Fantastic.
I love Danny Boyle. Did
Oh,
you just say
Station
Danny
11's
Boyle?
good.
Yes,
say
Danny
Danny
Boyle.
Boyle.
Oh, Mia, do you like Steve Jobs?
The film or the human?
The film.
I'm
Not
curious
the
about
human.
both. I'm curious about
my-
both. If you can answer on the other one too.
So what are your opinions on the other one?
The human? I don't know. I actually.
No, I
I'm
mean-
not-
Well, whenever he said that, you asked for the
He did-
distinction because I feel like
he
you have
did-
different opinions.
He did co-create Pixar. Steve.
He did
Jobs.
co-create Pixar.
I didn't know that.
But
Okay,
he,
then I have to stand.
he wasn't there, when it actually mattered.
He
Okay?
just funded it. It's,
He was
just
not
funded
in the
it.
room when it
It's like-
happened.
It's like fucking Elon Musk.
room
Elon
where
Musk
it
did not
happened.
invent Tesla. Elon
Yeah.
funded Tesla after it was already made. He just bought majority shares. That's basically
Yep.
what. That's basically exactly what Steve Jobs did. But
But I
Besides
was
the
telling
point.
these guys that Steve Jobs is better than Social Network.
No, what?
yes,
What?
no.
Mia,
I'm a
hold
blasphemous-
on,
I'm
hold on.
blasphemous
Let her
here.
be the
I'm
deciding
blasphemous
factor,
here.
Mia. Social Network or Steve Jobs? Just say right now, Social Network. Let's get out of the
Social
way.
network.
Yeah.
I'm taking
Not
it.
even
It's
close.
fine.
What?
I
that shit
gotta live by
because-
No,
truth.
like
live by
objectively
truth.
speaking, you
So
can't
hitting a
like.
home
my
run.
problem is not with the movie. The movie's okay.
He's
Social
trying
Network
so hard
is
to
a
defend
well-made,
it.
well-acted movie, but I
We're hitting home run. You're still in the
Mark
parking lot.
Zuckerberg. That's all it is.
You what?
I don't like
I said we're
Zuckerberg
hitting
in
the
real
home
life.
It doesn't
run.
paint him in a good light.
He's not
Yeah.
a good person. He's a
He's
piece
Speaking
of
of doesn't
shit.
put him in a good
being.
light. Did you see?
Literally.
Did you see? The Apprentice.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
no.
actually, Apprentice is fucking great, and
Yes.
I hate Donald Trump.
It was
Honestly,
phenomenal.
Great movie. I
I think
saw like
Sebastian
7
Stan-
people in that theater, and I was one of 2 people who stayed for the whole movie.
Sebastian
Wow,
Stan
really?
is the most underrated actor working right now.
Completely.
Because
100%.
Man was
He's
good.
so fucking
bogged
good.
down. He's bogged down in that MCU, but I'm like,
Yeah,
this
that's
dude,
what's
like,
what's holding him back.
Yeah.
him as
Because
Donald Trump was
Yo.
insane.
I mean, I guess I think I told Pat already, but I went to go see The Apprentice and Terrifier 3 in the same day.
Oh,
Terrifier 3, someone at my theater showed up, like threw up, and
yeah. Because
somehow
was it
I
the
saw
rat
more
thing or
people
was it
walk
something
out.
else?
Yeah, it was the rat thing.
Oh,
But
that
I saw
sounds
more
like
people
a-
walk out of the Donald Trump movie than I did fucking Terrifier 3, which is crazy. But yes, it was the rat thing. Someone at my theater threw up because of it. Pat, didn't you say that like when you went to go see Interstellar, you almost threw up because of the way that
Oh,
the
yeah.
thing was moving?
It's when
Do
they
you get
exit the
carsick?
wormhole for the exit from the wormhole the first time. It goes like, doo, 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 and it's like the
Oh yeah,
wide
when it
shot.
slows down. Yeah.
And like I get like vertigo looking at that. Like, and I'm just like, I can't.
He literally moves you physically. He is the greatest director of all time.
That's my favorite movie experience of all time was
Yeah.
seeing that in IMAX opening night, because I like literally the meme of the person leaning forward in the seat. I did that 3 times. I did that.
That
3
was
times.
me, but I was crying
There was
during
a guy.
Interstellar.
There was a guy in front of me. Like when he first entered the black hole, he literally sat up and he goes, "Oh, here we go."
Oh
And
my
he just all literally all he said.
Yes.
And then literally when they did the docking scene, the entire theater clapped.
Oh
And
my
I was
god.
like, this.
What?
I was like, this movie is incredible. Like, holy shit.
Wow. No, that's an experience.
Yeah,
I
will
saw
always
Wicked with
remember-
a bunch of
there's-
fans,
there's
and I
2
think
things.
there was a lot of clapping there.
Wait, so
Two-
you weren't
two-
annoyed at like the audience interaction for that, even on opening night?
Okay, so
Interstellar,
here's my
no.
thing with Wicked is that I knew that it had a huge fan base.
Yeah.
Everybody walking in had Wicked t-shirts, and I was like, okay, so this is full of fans. Like I knew that almost
My
before the movie
theater
even
has so many
started.
fucking kids.
So I knew that it had a lot of fans, but I'm gonna be honest, I love going to the movies. It's one of my favorite things to do. Seeing that there was any sort of praise for any movie at all in a theater, I was just like, you know what, fuck it. Like, let's have a good time. Like, I will sit
Yeah.
here and I will watch it. That movie made me cry, not because the movie was so good, but because I was just like yes, guys, like let's enjoy a movie.
Oh,
It got so good to the point where like Defying Gravity was playing, and I was like, you know what, this movie is fine. It's very enjoyable, but the music was what moved me, and everybody just loving the fact that they were having a good time. I loved it. It was a great time. So
too.
yes, I got a lot of people there that were like cheering and clapping for scenes. So that was really nice to see.
I think
Mia,
it's
have you ever been to any like film festivals? You might
No,
need to
never.
do that.
well, South by Southwest when I lived in Austin, but
Yeah.
it's hard to avoid. Like I'm going to I live so close to the Alamo Draft House there. I don't know if you've ever been to an Alamo Draft
I've
House.
actually been to that one
Yeah.
there. The one in Austin.
Yeah, the one on Lamar.
So my girlfriend's from Austin, so there's a lot of areas I know now there. But like Waterloo Records, have you ever been there?
Yes, of course.
Waterloo
right
is
next to 24
awesome, dude.
Diner.
Yeah, so there's Waterloo, there's the Whole Foods that's right there.
The OG Whole Foods, by the way. Club
yeah.
Dub, not just a Whole Foods. They have live music after 5 p.m.
Book People's right there. Yeah, it's awesome there.
Austin is so
it's
rich.
popping right now. It's
Yeah.
popping. The Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinhardt that directed Everything Everywhere, I ran into them in that area.
Oh, that's so cool.
And they were
I
really
love that
nice.
movie.
I have one other Christopher Nolan theater story. Not Christopher
Let's
Nolan.
hear it.
theater,
Let's hear
but
it.
When I saw The Dark Knight opening night at midnight, the Watchmen trailer played in front.
Bro,
Oh,
that
shit.
trailer is
And
fantastic.
that
The one with the
is
Smashing
amazing.
Pumpkin
Wow.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when it played, I had no idea what it was. There was a guy that was sitting right behind me, just audibly yelled, "Fuck yes!"
I
That's all
remember
he
that.
said.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Oh my
I got the
God.
Watchmen graphic novel sitting right here too on my
Me
desk.
too. Me too.
Fantastic.
Okay, wait. Watchmen film
That trailer is still my
and
favorite
Watchmen
trailer.
show. How do you feel about it not getting picked up for a season 2? If you've seen the
well,
show.
Actually,
Okay, put it this
I
way.
mean-
The guy who made the show, he was like, "We're not doing a season 2."
Why?
HBO wanted them to do a season because they thought that
You
was
mean
the
the great
story. Like
Damon
Damon
Lindelof?
Lindelof thought that was the he thought that was
Lindelof.
that's the story they told. Like he just didn't want to make
There
another
was
season.
so much more to delve into. It was so
Oh, I know.
fucking good. It was so well made.
I talked to somebody who
Yeah,
worked on
it's
Watchmen
fantastic.
actually like 3 or 4 weeks ago,
That's awesome.
like with Zack Snyder, and they were like,
Oh.
he's a cool dude.
Oh yeah,
He
no,
seems
my
like, he
yeah,
seems like a really nice guy, but like his projects,
He
I'm
is.
just like they're too ambitious, and to me they're never complete.
They never
Like,
live up
Well,
to what he
no,
wants.
Yeah.
no. I think that no one ever trusts him enough to let him do what he wants or execute his vision. I think
That's
that
fair.
we as fans have a lot more trust than the studios have in him.
Yeah.
His ideas
I
are
would say
very
that
much
for
on the
any
level of people
filmmaker,
who are
period.
fans.
I
No, but like,
Nolan
especially
sentiment.
when it comes to a comic book, like there's so much that you
Mhm.
want to honor versus capitalism and what they would prefer. And like, I don't know.
I
and
work at a
there's a
studio,
problem with
you're
the
not
writing
wrong.
too. Like they pick writers who don't really care about what they're writing half the time. They're like, "Oh yeah, I didn't read the comic books, or I don't care about this." And you can go a different way with a story, but you got to respect what's there. This fight right here.
I
Is
got
the
locked
best,
in. I'm
man.
sorry.
It's
I know,
so
I
good.
did too.
I work at a studio, and you'd be very, very not surprised of how many executives do not watch anything.
Literally, yeah.
They don't even
Like,
read the
don't-
scripts.
No,
Yeah.
no.
I was on a set like a week ago, and everybody who was paying for the project were like, we don't care, honestly.
Yeah.
It
Am I
was
gonna
such
be
a different
blamed then?
energy. Everybody who was involved in the creative aspect was like really
Ooh.
into it, and they were just there to like observe.
This is such a headache to make, but it's so good.
And they did all the choreography backwards too. Like they did both ways.
Yeah,
It's so fun.
because I mean, you have to shoot it once this way and then once the other way when he's going backwards, right?
And then
It's
one
interesting
for
to think
wide,
about,
one for
though.
close-ups.
They think about like the aspect of like he never really was wearing that suit if you think about it, because even whenever they go back later in the movie, like, and then this shot right here where it cuts away, like you automatically know that it's him.
Oh yeah, when
I
I, first
mean,
saw this, I was like, I bet you
yeah.
they're fighting themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, can we agree that it's easy
Actually-
to understand, but it's hard to explain?
Yes,
Because-
yes.
okay.
Oh my god,
100%.
yes.
100%.
Fucking
I think
That's the
I
only
would
person
rather
who
say I don't
doesn't get it.
understand it than have someone say, then explain it to me. Because
no, I think that's
all
that's
they're
where I'm
doing
leaning.
is
It's like-
going through time backwards.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah,
imagine
yeah.
time is going this way, they're
Yeah.
going this way.
Exactly.
I think that's correct. It's like I don't understand it. It's just exactly.
It
what
did
you
take
said.
me 9.5 times to figure that out,
Yeah.
though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what Nolan did, he cut 20 minutes out of the movie and he essentially condensed down the explanation of the movie where
We
he was
talked
like,
about
if I
this.
have a
Where
we
is
talked
that
about
20
this.
minutes?
Well, no. We talked
We'll
about
never
this
see
before on
it
the
at
last
its
pod,
house.
but on a few episodes before. But he basically explained it as like, if you explain to the audience too much how the technology works and like the technical part of it, they get lost. So if you just kind of like show them, at least you're like able to follow what's happening without getting like too lost in the sauce, if that makes sense.
I hate knowing that how much footage they're sitting on that they're just like, no, but you can't have it.
Even
Like, it's
Denis
shot,
Villeneuve,
it's great.
he
Him
does
and
the same
Villeneuve are
thing.
the same way. Like they don't do
They're-
director's cuts.
They're like fuck y'all. No, okay, Django Unchained. There's like a 3.5 hour, 4 hour cut of Django Unchained that will never.
No one
see.
likes the sound of their own voice more than Quentin Tarantino, though.
Yeah,
that's true. Can we hear someone's
Good
Tarantino
Lord, he's a
impression?
terrible-
I feel
I'm
like Pat would
smiling
have
too
a
hard.
good one.
I'm smiling too hard right
My
now.
one. He's like, hey man.
I
Hey man, because
hate
it's
him,
so much
but
fun.
I love everything he
Jan.
does.
Guys,
So much
you have to
fucking
understand.
fun, Dan.
Like the only thing that's gonna make sense with Tenet
Oh my
is
God.
what the actual story is. If we try to go anywhere else besides the main story, we're gonna lose it.
Oh my
Guys, we cannot lose it.
I love. Speaking of Ridley Scott, when they asked him about Tarantino's this was his 10th film, he's just making. But he just said, "Make another fucking movie, you loser." Like, who cares? Like,
Ridley Scott is a king for that.
who
I know.
gives a shit? Like,
No one
Just do it.
likes him.
Tarantino.
Yeah.
Oh, they love.
Yeah,
People love that man.
No.
worship
People
that
love
man.
him, but like his,
Oh, like people in Hollywood.
yeah.
Oh, I hear that. It's all about plutonium.
I will not confirm nor deny.
Okay, so this is very much like the guts, the beans of like what a spy movie is. They're like, oh, we're talking about these boats right here are risky as hell. I've actually been on one of these, but spy movies, they have a lot of this, turncoat stuff, but we don't exactly get caught up in it too much in this movie. I think Nolan he made the spy movie, but he also made a sci-fi movie, right? So he did a good job with this. But I didn't realize it, honestly, the first time I watched it. It took me the second time to realize the genius of this movie.
He got away with it for so long because it looks good.
I just love this movie.
Everyone is
it's
exactly.
So fun. It kind of feels like a video game if you think about it.
I wonder why.
Wait,
protagonist.
speaking of, have either of you or anyone seen the movie Serenity with Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Yes.
Actually, that movie
Yes.
feels like a fucking video game.
It is a video
But
game.
it
That's
is.
That's the twist. Sorry.
What's it about?
Spoiler.
It's not
Spoiler.
worth your time.
It's
God.
it's the most
It's worth your time.
insane.
I love Matthew
it's,
McConaughey.
It's the most insane. I
It's
mean,
him
I
and
just
Anne
gave I
Hathaway.
gave the ending away. But
Oh, it's
Dude,
okay.
hold the fuck up. Actually, it is a video game. Now I think
it's
about it.
a video game. Like
I watched
it's
that shit
literally
one time.
a video game. Like essentially like Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway like are this kid's parents, and you're like watching this story, and the very ending it's like it's the kid created a video game of a scenario that like he created on his own. And I was in the
Bro.
theater being like,
What the fuck?
the hell is happening right now? It's a video game. It like cuts out to a PC and it's a video game.
It's so
I saw that one
Bro,
time.
okay.
in,
I was like,
y'all
this is
taking
so
this
stupid.
IMAX?
I love it. This is so
This-
stupid.
okay.
I love it.
This like what my favorite part about movies is like great movies is like
Oh.
I'll see a shot like this right here and I'm like, dang, I gotta go there now. We gotta go to the Amalfi Coast. Like this
Do
is
you think it's a
fantastic.
drone or a helicopter?
Helicopter.
That's a helicopter.
Because
It's
you
too-
can't
the-
carry
the-
a
The
IMAX
IMAX.
camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
My Max cameras are too fucking big and loud
Yeah.
as shit.
She looks superimposed there. That's how perfect it's lit and everything. She looks literally like a painting.
So what they do is now they have like apps where you can literally just put up your phone and you can see where the sun is gonna be. So they can plan for the timing of day where they have to shoot all this stuff.
They
And no one
use
shoots
that
fast. So
on
it's
like
not a
every
big-
set I'm on. Like the day
Yeah.
before when we go scouting locations, they're looking to see what time everything's gonna be at.
And I love that. It's like
You just have to
we
hope
a new
the
thing.
clouds are the same.
True.
Actually, if you want to know the truth, when you get a call sheet, it'll tell you like this time that the sun comes up and the sun comes down.
Yep.
Yep.
It has everything on there. It's actually kind of insane how much details on there.
Is this the same town as Equalizer 3?
No,
Maybe
it's-
then,
no, it's not.
I was gonna say I didn't know about that.
Equalizer 3 takes place in Italy or something.
Yeah,
Isn't that the same
Like
town?
this shot,
Like,
this is fucking Bond right here, dude.
I know. It's
Little yacht.
beautiful. And Hoyto shot Spectre too. And honestly, this looks better than Spectre. Okay.
Spectre is
I mean,
not a
going
bad movie when
from-
you're watching it, but it's such a vacuum movie.
Going
Like it's good
from-
when you're watching it, and then you forget about it the next day.
Yeah.
Going from
I mean,
Deep in
I
Jinx to
enjoy it.
Skyfall.
You could say that about any Bond film the last like 15 years.
Hold on. Are we going to talk about Casino Royale like that?
Oh,
And
okay.
Okay.
Casino Royale.
Skyfall
Okay.
and Casino Royale. Besides that, she's right. Okay.
Yeah.
No Time to Die.
Wait,
it's
Gilderoy Lockhart.
and it's Brana. Let's go.
Gilderoy Lockhart.
So, Kenneth Branagh, he was talking about doing this movie. And he's talking about it in the sense that like people make movies, but what Christopher Nolan does is he makes cinema. Like, what are these cinematic moments where like people are gonna be at
makes
the,
an
like
event.
Pat was talking about, like at the edge of your seat.
This is the director of Artemis Fowl, you guys.
I prefer
of
Murder
Belfast.
on the Orient Express. Henry
I
V,
Gilderoy
Henry
Lockhart.
V.
Gilderoy Lockhart, yeah.
He's always been Gilderoy Lockhart. I'm not sure how it is with y'all's parents. My parents don't remember any names, but like if I say him, he's Gilderoy Lockhart. So like
my dad like kind of knows names, and he also knows characters. So he knows the Jason Statham as El Transportador. Because that's the name in Spanish.
Same. No, like literally, my mom loves Gerard Butler. She loves Jason Statham and like Denzel, like Morgan Freeman. So like anytime those people come up, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch that movie.
My dad will call Russell Crowe Gladiator. He'll call Sylvester Stallone Rambo.
Same.
And so, what's his name is Jesus Christ.
Who?
Passion of the Christ.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah, they like actually refer to him like he is actually like to the point where when things come out about him, they're like, no, Jesus Christ wouldn't do that.
Jim Caviezel.
Mel Gibson.
Not Jesus.
My dad calls him Lethal Weapon.
He's a good
My
man.
dad knows him for like the action movies, like 80s action.
Great.
He loves the Lethal Weapon movies.
My Mel Gibson movie.
Beautiful.
My Mel Gibson movie is The Patriot. I love The Patriot.
This makes me think of that scene in Sicario.
Mine is that rom-com where he wakes up and he can read women's minds.
What women want?
What women want. It was so problematic.
What women want.
I rewatched it. I rewatched it too. I like found the DVD for $1. I was like, this movie does not hold up. And
I forgot. I forgot about the movie. I don't know why I
loved it.
It was P.S. I Love You. I was like, that's not fucking right.
Wait, who's the girl? Is it Cameron Diaz? Is that the girl?
No, it was.
No, she was too young.
She was too young. Yeah.
Who is it?
He hadn't even done The Mask yet. Let me see.
The Mask is fantastic.
What was it called?
No, it's Helen Hunt. Helen Hunt.
Yeah, exactly.
Hunt, yeah.
The Mask though. Whew. Cameron Diaz. Good Lord.
Jim Carrey hilariously just.
That was a good year for him. 94.
94, yeah.
He did Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, and that in the same year. Set his shit off.
Jeff Daniels did that at Speed that year.
Yeah, Speed, John DeBont. You know what's crazy is about Speed is that they released that movie a week before the OJ case happened.
Bruh.
Like it was supposed to release that week, and they were like, let's push it up a week. So it comes out in theaters, it does really well, and then the OJ case happens with like the highway chase, and it does fucking numbers after that.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I think this is a good time to talk about it. We talked about it a little bit when we talked, the other day, but Nolan's portrayal of women, I think this movie and Oppenheimer are the best that he's gotten to. He can do.
He makes her like a main. You're not even just a main character, but like he makes her this person who's like she wants freedom, but she's going out of her way to like do literally anything for her kid.
I mean, she's the emotional crutch of the movie. The emotions of this movie don't sell if she doesn't sell, and
people were saying that this movie was like emotionless when it came out too. Though, do you remember that?
But that's how he Emily Blunt also emotionless. That was one of the critiques of her character. I personally.
Bro, he should have brought her back for Oppenheimer, I think, low key.
I think so too. Because she looks
the movie I was talking about, Widows.
Dude, yeah, actually.
Emma Thomas saw Widows and was like, you got to put this girl or this woman in your movie. And that's how DeBakey got in this movie, is because of Emma Thomas.
Wow.
It's kind of crazy that like other filmmakers go to other movies and think like, I need this person immediately. Like Tom Cruise fucking seeing Love Lies Bleeding and was like, I need that girl from fucking Love Lies Bleeding. What's her name? Katie O'Brien?
Katie O'Brien.
Yeah, she's in the
have you seen Anora?
It was fantastic. It was so cute. It was so good.
I loved Anora.
But
so Sean Baker, he went to go see, I think it was Scream 6. Or no, was it Scream 5?
No, it was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Or no, he said it was Scream 5. He said it was Scream 5. He went to go see Scream 5 because she's so good in that movie. She's in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but she's in it for like 2 minutes.
She's so good at it. And she's the one who's on fire at the end of the movie. I was like, that's Mikey. She's awesome.
Have you seen any of Sean Baker's other movies, Mia?
What are his other movies?
The Florida Project, Tangerine.
Yes. No, I haven't seen that one. I've seen the Florida Project. I knew he did one that movie was amazing.
Yeah,
it was so fucking good.
Mia, my TV just said there's a nail biter between the Caps and Lightning right now in the third period.
Should we switch? Should we pause? A little intermission?
Intermission. That's crazy.
Wait, actually, the Flyers are out right now. I don't know
what are our thoughts on Trap?
Trap is good.
Trap is good.
Yeah. He got
supremely shot.
I feel like she's not liking it. I feel like she didn't like it. She's sitting there like not saying anything.
What did you say?
What are your thoughts on Trap? Because
my thoughts on Trap is I am literally obsessed with it. I think it is one of the most like just brave displays of fun and frivolity that I have ever seen in cinema. I had a ball. I had a ball watching it. I saw it 4 times in theaters.
I will say, homie, Trap. at the t-shirt, whatever the t-shirt stand. Was the best. They should have had him in the movie more. Like I want to watch the whole spin-off.
Like I want a spin-off of him. We needed 10 extra minutes of like the entire credits should have been like just little skits of him. He was amazing.
My hot take on Trap is I like that there wasn't a twist. I like that they told us right off the fucking bat he's the killer. Twist? No. My point is that like think about like the way that he's right. But my point is with that is that like think about how easy it would have been for him to hide that in the marketing and for the movie at the very end, like the last 10 minutes, been like, oh, he's actually the fucking killer. Yeah. Like they tell us in the first 10 minutes.
But it's a maze. It's a maze. It's a get out. It's not a.
It is. But my point is just that he's basically that's become his staple. Is that like his movies have a twist at the end? Think of how fucking easy it would have been if they just told us right off the fucking bat, like he's the killer. Have fun. Just follow him. And that's what I think made it good, is that if it was a twist at the end, I don't think it would have been as good.
No, what made it so good is Josh Hartnett, and then on top of that, the DP, what's his name? How do you pronounce his name?
Sayama Mukabrito. I can't say his name. Challengers this year, he has had a fantastic year.
You shall call me by your name, right?
Yeah.
I have a Call Me by Your Name tattoo.
Has some of the best framing in any movie ever.
I have it right here.
So does Trap.
Yeah.
I will die on this hill.
And they shot Trap on 35, and
all
those low light when you're watching it.
Quote unquote low light scenes,
and they actually filmed an arena. Like the entire film was shot in order. So like everything, they actually went through the entire concert. And I know people were saying, this is just basic filmmaking, but I like that. I like how far, at the beginning, I did think it was weird that they only showed Lady Raven dancing from so far away. I was like, why do we not have close-ups? Like usually we would have like a cut
we're gonna get real close.
Yeah. No, it was so cute. Although a little nepotism in action there, but it's okay.
Oh no, very much.
I like
very
your music,
much, bro.
Though, low key. I was listening to it for like a week after it came out.
It could have been a 10. It could have been a 10, but it was a solid 8 instead.
I was sitting at like a 7 for it. The last like 30 or 40 minutes, I didn't realize like they were gonna like leave the concert, and I was like, okay, cool, we're wrapping up like any minute now.
I had no idea we were ever gonna leave. I thought the end of the movie was gonna be, do we leave the concert?
I wasn't sure about that.
When we got to go to his house, and when I saw who was the wife, I was like, oh, this bitch delivers every time.
You were like,
I love her.
See, that's awesome.
These thoughts make me think of like Chernobyl for some reason.
Yes.
The show?
Oh, you're talking about the show, right?
Yeah, Chernobyl is so fucking good.
Yeah.
Mia, just out of curiosity, because I'm a huge IMAX fan, but also we were talking about James Cameron earlier. Yeah, I wear this every day, I think. But Avatar. What are our thoughts on James Cameron's Avatar and Avatar: The Way of Water?
They were beautiful. The plot was a little.
The
plot was a little lost in the second one.
We're fucking done. We lost.
Why?
I love Avatar so much.
She didn't say
Wait,
it
no,
was
one
bad.
is
No,
one is a masterpiece. Like
like
Avatar
two.
1 is
I
a
like
fucking
two as
masterpiece.
well.
Avatar 2, the emotional connection wasn't there. I felt like there was too many ends being like wrapped up
I'll say
near
this.
the end of
I
the
do
movie.
think I totally understand any criticism that people have of the second movie. I just love the visuals
I went to
of
see
Avatar.
it 3 times. Like that movie was beautiful. It made me cry every single
Okay,
time.
so she saw it 3 times. I'll take
No,
that.
no, no. It was
I don't give a shit.
amazing.
I'll take it.
I remember when that was coming out, and I was like, my brother was like, I don't know if it's gonna make a lot of money. I was like, dude, you can't
It's
count out James
Avatar.
Cameron, man.
It's Avatar.
It's
Never-
James Cameron. It's James Cameron.
Yeah.
Never.
And then people are like,
bet on that man every day.
they're like, is Avatar culturally relevant? I mean, those two movies are the two highest grossing movies of like all time. Yeah.
The way that
People
people
are gonna
will
say
say
that.
that, or they'll say like it's not culturally relevant. It's like if you have to make the distinction between that movie and The Last Airbender, then it's culturally relevant. Like shut
Yeah.
the fuck up.
Yeah.
The problem is people are like, oh, you don't know even the name of a character. I'm like, Jake Sully.
I can name
Material,
the
like,
characters
come
like
on.
all
I
of
don't
them.
I don't know any characters' names. I always say the actor's name. I'm like, yeah, Kenneth
I say the
Branagh is-
protagonist.
I don't know
Sam
his
Worthington.
name. I don't know his
Like
name.
this guy right here, who's the protagonist's name?
Actually,
Yeah.
do you know that Matt Damon was supposed to be an Avatar, and he was like, he
Who
lost.
was he going to
literally-
be?
Jake Sully.
He was
Jake
gonna be
Sully.
Jake.
Jake
He
Sully.
lost $100 million
Well, he would
because
have been really
he was
good.
supposed to be the lead, and then they were going to give him like 10%, and he lost.
Why did he
Um,
miss out?
He turned it down for Invictus.
Oh, I bet. I'm surprised he didn't kill himself.
Invictus
He did get an
isn't
Oscar nom for
culturally
Invictus,
relevant.
though. He did
But,
get an Oscar
like,
nom for Invictus, but
How much
yeah.
did that make?
Oscar nomination,
Not
$100
10%
million.
of Avatar.
Also, he's had previous Oscar nominations before, hasn't he? Or was that his first?
Well, he's
if
a-
it,
he's an
if it was his
Oscar.
first, that'd be different.
He's an Oscar in general for the Good Will
What
Hunting
it-
script.
Good
For
Will
what?
Hunting.
Oh,
Right,
that's
well
right.
done.
Okay, okay.
Like Ben Affleck has
See?
3 Oscars, none of them for acting. It's Good Will Hunting script and Argo script and directing Argo.
Do you guys know
Oh.
about the script that was looked at for Good Will Hunting? How there was like a whole like other hour of that movie where they were like spies or whatever.
Oh, they put it in the.
Isn't that
I
the-
thought
one of the
they put it
original-
in the middle of the movie or like of the script, so they could tell if someone was reading the
No,
script.
no,
or
you're
not.
thinking about something else
Yeah.
actually.
Okay.
So no. There's 2 different things you're talking about there. First off, I'm gonna address what Vikash said there, but
Okay.
basically what they did was they wrote a gay sex scene in the middle of the
Oh,
script
that's
so
what
that
it
they
was.
would
Oh my
know,
God.
so
Comes
that
out
they
of
would know
nowhere.
who read the script.
Yeah,
So
it
whenever
comes
they
out of
went to
nowhere,
whenever they went to somebody, they'd be like, "All right, so we like the script, but there's one thing we need to talk about." They're like, "Okay, cool, so you
Yeah.
read the script."
You read
But
the script.
The second thing is that the movie was originally like much longer, and there was like a whole other hour onto the second half of the movie where after they left like the college or like the town that they're in Boston, they go off to become like fucking spies. And it's, if you can find it online, it's fucking crazy. But
Interesting.
on top of that, I have a theory that he made the accountant because he didn't get to make that part of the movie. Ben Affleck, I mean.
They're making a
Hey,
second one of that.
The
They are.
Accountant 2? Electric
Yeah.
Boogaloo?
Yes.
Electric Boogaloo.
You a real one for that.
Yeah, they're making an accountant
Too fast, 2 accountants.
Too fast, too.
Too
Oh
bad,
my
too.
God.
Accountant 3, Boston Drift.
Boston Drift. Let's
Boston
go.
Mia,
Drift.
what's the
Dunkin'
best? What's the best Fast and Furious while we have you on the pod? We're just gonna
I've
get all of your
never
hot
seen a
takes.
single Fast and Furious.
Ma'am. Ma'am,
Damn.
rectify that.
Damn, dude, you
You
live
know,
in Miami? Or I'm sorry,
Chris
my bad.
Nolan's-
Does it take place
Chris
in
Nolan-
Miami?
I think the
Chris
second
Nolan
one
does.
Okay,
The
I'm
second
not.
one's in
I'm not gonna
Florida.
lie. Ever since Chris Nolan said that he loved Fast and Furious, I've been
Tokyo
contemplating
Drift.
starting the entire series.
You should actually, dude,
His
we should
favorite
do a
Tokyo
Fast and
Drift.
Furious series with Mia.
You
Honestly,
should
I'm down.
watch all of them.
Mia, have you seen at
How
least
many
Bad
are
Boys?
there?
I mean, you're in.
There's like
I've seen-
10
I've seen
if
Bad
you don't
Boys.
count Hobbs and Shaw.
There's 10, and you
Isn't
know,
that
7 other
aren't
good.
those comic book characters, the little cartoons?
Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh, you're talking about I know what you're
You're
talking
talking
about.
about Calvin and Hobbes. You're talking about Calvin and
yeah.
Hobbes.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Hobbs
We're-
and Shaw's a spin-off of
Hobbs
Fast and
and Shaw.
Furious.
it's
Oh.
Jason Statham and The
Right.
Rock.
And
Jesus, David,
the
and
only reason
yourself
that
is-
movie
Those are
exists,
ridiculous names. They sound like doodles.
the only reason that movie exists
They
is
are
because The
doodles.
Rock had another movie in his contract and he didn't want to work with Vin Diesel.
Doesn't he
Yeah, it was
have doesn't he have a little thing in his contract where he can't get punched more than he serves punches
Same
in
with-
any
Yeah,
movie?
he can't.
Oh,
he
he can't-
can't.
he
quote
can't lose a
unquote, lose a
fight.
fight.
Yeah.
Same thing with Jason Statham.
And Vin Diesel. They can't lose.
That's so fucking stupid. And you got
Fragile
Dave
egos.
Batista, WWE wrestler, who's like just getting his ass whooped at the end of
Fantastic.
fucking Dune.
Dave Bautista, what an actor.
such an incredible actor, and like The Rock wants to be taken seriously so bad. Is kind of what's funny about
I
it.
mean, you didn't see Red
I
One?
took him seriously for a while with that show Ballers, and then it went to shit by like the second season.
Oh, y'all know that?
JD's
Speaking
in
of ballers, speaking
Wow,
of
JD's in
ballers,
Ballers.
John David Washington's in Ballers.
He is.
Oh, yeah,
Oh
he
my
is.
God. What?
Yeah.
He was the worst. He was such a dick.
Wide receiver on the Dolphins.
What?
guys-
That's
Yeah.
right. Wow.
You guys remember that video?
He was good in the
of
show, though.
He was
The Rock
really good.
talking about Red
He was
One
so
and
good
why
that I
the-
really questioned Nolan's judgment when he cast him in this, because this wasn't too far. Like he was
Yeah.
I mean, did you
Not a
watch
good show
Black
that I watched
Klansman?
all
Though?
5 seasons of.
no.
Black Klansman's good.
Black
Mia, did
Klansman.
you
is-
watch-
It went
did
on
you
for
watch
5 seasons.
Did you watch all 5 seasons of
Yeah.
The Ballers? Because I watched
No,
all 5
I dropped off
seasons
after
of
like 3. Should I go back and watch it?
No, please do not.
Season 3 was terrible.
I was like, I think I got to season 5, and I'm like, what? Why? I like looked at the time that was left in the episode. I was like, what am I doing? Like, why am I watching this? Like,
I was thinking about
my
that
God.
video of The Rock talking about watching Red One in IMAX,
Red
the way that
One,
he was talking
yeah.
about fucking Oppenheimer. It's so funny.
Wow, these outfits are great.
Little cuties.
Wow.
I love his
that he has-
tie.
He has, let me see under
The
under
tie,
like,
the shirt buttoned
not
all the
even
way,
tucked into
the
the back.
tonal.
I mean, they pushed Mickey 17 to April. so
Why?
I don't know.
I fucking.
I don't
hate
think it has
Why?
anything to do with the movie. I think it has to do with the fact that David Zaslav just sucks.
Yeah, he
I think the
does.
problem is
Why?
that they don't know what they're selling, and we know it's a Bong movie, and we're gonna go see it regardless. But
Wait, it's a
they're trying
Bond
to-
movie? No, I have no
or
idea
Bong,
what it's
Bong,
about.
Bong, or Bong,
Bong
Joon-ho.
Joon-ho.
Bong Joon-ho.
Oh,
Bong.
okay.
The guy who made
Yes, yes.
Parasite. It's his movie, and it's like he's a fantastic filmmaker. We're gonna go see his movies, but they don't know how to market what they have. That's
That
what it
wasn't a
feels like.
blockbuster though. That was like a success after it started getting like that was a
The Oscar hype, and yeah.
post-distribution success.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
we
whenever that
I
movie
saw it
came
like
out-
3 months before the
And I
hype, man.
think
The
they
hype
want
was
it to
crazy.
be a blockbuster with Robert Pattinson especially. So maybe they're
And
gearing
it's
up for like a
not.
big press tour.
I mean,
When
I don't think
Parasite-
no.
Blockbuster.
No.
When
reason-
Parasite came out, I saw it in that theater with like 3 people, and it came
I didn't
out,
get
and I
to see
remember
it
it won the
either.
Oscar, and I remember that like they re-released it, and everybody was there like the same weekend.
Dang,
the
really?
reason
Like,
why
huge
like,
difference.
Perfect example. Juror number 2 like didn't get any marketing. Warner Brothers has no money, so they can't do anything essentially. So they picked
Interesting.
Dune and Challengers.
Didn't they
Those are
finance
their, like-
Barbie?
yeah,
Warner Brothers
Yeah,
is like just
but
the
they-
worst
$100
Warner
million.
Brothers-
through like distribution right now.
Warner Brothers is $15 billion in debt.
Dang. But
I don't know
that's
how
that's
David- I don't
Hollywood
know how-
accounting though. Okay, I don't know
Hollywood
what
accounting.
the
It's like they're like 10 to 15 billion in debt, and I don't know how David Zaslav still has a job because he tried to get rid of my channel, Turner Classic Movies.
but they
And then
but that's the
fucking
whole thing with
Scorsese
them.
and
Spielberg.
Anderson
They-
come
I
in,
love
and
that
Spielberg.
channel.
Spielberg,
jump.
Scorsese, and PTA came in and saved it because
Yeah.
my boy Ben Mankiewicz had Spielberg on for he did like a series, and Ben Mankiewicz started like tearing up. He was like choking up. He's like basically saying like, "Thank you for saving this channel. It means a lot. Like this is the channel that we love and everything." Spielberg was just like, "No problem, man." Like,
No problem, man.
I love seeing them there.
Spielberg
for,
curates a lot of their schedule. Spielberg
Yeah,
curates a lot of
because
their
they just
schedule.
did All the President's Men before the election. That's why I put
that-
out the episode.
Dude, that
man.
election series he did was I recorded like every single movie because I love listening to the intros and then
Is that
the,
piracy?
like, after for what
No, are you talking about like on your TV?
I record the
DVR.
Hulu like Hulu Live TV.
Oh, okay.
DVR,
I'm
it's not
on-
the
I'm
same thing.
I'm on TCM like all day, just like looking what's coming out, what's coming.
She's got a gun.
Oh,
Well, they're about
Oh.
to they're about to
Is-
pull up this heist.
Is that Denzel's son?
They
mhm.
look big.
Yeah.
They
Not
low-key
according to
look big.
Denzel though. He doesn't.
Holy shit, is that
acknowledge it.
Denzel's son?
Hold up, dude, is that Denzel's son?
So they actually have a new movie. Or Denzel's other son directed a movie, and JD's in it. It's called
I
a
haven't seen
Piano
it.
Lesson.
I
Yeah,
just saw
And
it.
I haven't seen it
they
yet.
both look like they both just sound like Denzel. You just
Dude,
tell their
actually,
father,
he's
man.
really good in it too. I saw it in theaters like 2 weeks ago. I have a friend who works at one, and so he just kind of like lets me in.
Yeah.
And it was the only. Actually, that was the day that I pulled the 3 movies in theaters. The day that I
Oh.
watched Blitz, which we haven't talked about, Vikash. And you want to know why we haven't
Okay,
talked about it?
let's
'Cause
not
it's a
talk about it.
forgettable movie.
Let's not talk about it, okay?
I'm like
haven't
kind of
seen it
heated
yet.
about that movie.
I have not seen it.
It's unfortunate.
You're fine. Watch
TV
Widows
right
again. Do
watch
me a
Widows
favor,
again.
just watch
It's
Widows
better.
again.
We
Watch
love
it for
you, Steve
Elizabeth
McQueen,
Debicki.
but
watch his Small Axe movies. Those are fucking great.
Oh yeah.
what are those
On
on? I've
Amazon.
been meaning to watch those.
Prime.
Amazon?
They're on
Prime, yeah.
Criterion.
Really? They're just.
I know that
it's so
Barry
deserved.
Jenkins
Criterion
has. They got the Underground Railroad. Oh yeah, they also have the Small Axe one. You're right. Never mind.
They shot Underground Railroad here in Savannah, man, and that show is fantastic.
It's funny that Kenneth Branagh is one of the most highly trained actors in the entire world. He's the epitome, like he's the top Shakespearean actor.
I love that you can see the red room.
Okay,
blue
it's
in
him.
those shots.
I'm gonna say it's him and Denzel. I know I know Kenny is the one who like comes out on top because he's even directed a whole Shakespeare movie. But
Denzel has two.
and Macbeth,
3 of them.
Yeah.
Bro, put some respect on
Yeah.
Macbeth.
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on. Denzel didn't
That's
direct
the
this.
great Joe Cohen.
I don't know why I thought about that. Was that was the Coen brothers. I'm sorry. He did Fences,
Yeah,
and
Fences.
the same
That's
person that wrote
August
the play for
Wilson.
Fences also wrote the play for the piano lesson, which his son
August
just did,
Wilson.
which
Oh,
is really
Tennessee
interesting.
Williams?
Yeah.
Tennessee Williams. No, is it
Legend.
August Wilson?
Yeah.
No, wait.
No, August Wilson.
August
You're right.
Wilson,
You're
I
right.
think, yeah.
The Tennessee William.
Tennessee Williams is
Mia,
like cat on hot seat roof.
have you seen The Room with Tommy Wiseau?
Is
Anyway,
that the one where the little kid says, I want to go to room.
No.
No, you're thinking about Room.
That's
with Brie
Room.
Larson.
That's Room. Brie Larson.
Wait, what's the
That's a
difference?
good movie too.
We're talking
The
about the
Room-
movie.
The Room.
I
is
did
a
not hear
movie-
that.
The Room is a movie that came out in 2003.
Oh, hi,
It is
Mark.
notoriously known as like one of the best, worst movies ever made because it's legitimately so bad. The guy that made the movie, he directed, he wrote it, he's also in the movie. But the way that the story goes is him and his friend Greg moved to Hollywood. They weren't getting any roles, so they were like, fuck it, let's make our own movie. Long story short, the movie's bad. Like, it's really bad. But he thinks he's like making like an amazing movie. And so it's just very good to like, it's a fun watch. It's a bad movie though.
They actually made a making of movie, kind of. It's called.
you seen The Disaster Artist?
No.
Yeah.
So
It's,
that's a
Seth
movie about
Rogen.
the making of that movie.
Yeah.
So if you're
Oh,
ever
okay.
interested in
Rogen
watching The
and James
Room,
Franco.
watch that movie because it kind of gives you a look at what The Room ends up becoming, and then watch
Okay.
The Room.
Okay.
But The Disaster Artist is actually like genuinely a good movie, though.
Yeah. James Franco,
Wait, that one sounds familiar. Who's in that one?
James Franco, and
Yeah.
Dave Franco. They both star as like the leads. The guys that
I like
went
Dave
to
Franco.
Hollywood
He's
to
a
make
good
the movie.
actor.
He directed too. He made what was that movie? The Rental.
The Rental. Didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I didn't
It's
hear
fine.
amazing things. I heard it was fine.
Like he's got the sauce. He's like the next thing he makes is gonna be awesome. Like definitely worth watching.
I love this sequence.
Yeah.
The amount of planning this takes, people don't understand. If you make good action, it takes time. It is not glamorous to do, but damn, does it look good.
This probably took so many like weeks
So
to
many
shoot, I'm
setups.
sure.
Oh yeah,
They rewatched
and it's
the
like,
Matrix Reloaded. To watch
Ooh,
Matrix Reloaded
bro.
scenes.
I I
Those
love
car
the Matrix.
chases
Man.
are-
They're good.
Those highway scenes are fucking great.
Fantastic.
They
Fantastic.
made a whole highway just for that like loops around. That is so cool. Like they don't do that in movies anymore, man.
Mm. They just don't make them like they used to, man. They just don't make them like they used
They
to.
just don't make them
No
like
one
they
wants
used
to
to.
work.
Nolan does.
Yeah. Get off
Exactly.
That
your
is
ass and
true.
work.
He plants 100 acres of cornfields for Interstellar?
And then he sells
And
it
then
for
he
profit.
Sells it all for a profit. Yeah.
Exactly.
I kind of like this Travis Scott song that's in this movie.
It's
I don't
so
like Travis
good.
Scott as a person, but
Exactly.
I like the song.
Same.
Yeah.
But like
I'm
this.
under. I'm under the
Nolan
impression that
heard
Nolan was
Astroworld. He
watching
was
the
like, "We
credits.
got to be on Astroworld now."
Yeah. He was watching the credits and was like, "I need Travis Scott." That's all he said in the studio.
It's
That
so
song goes
good.
hard though.
Oh shit. No. Oh. My TV's gonna restart. Fuck.
It's all right. We'll tell you where we are.
It's very rare you listen to a commentary and they have to tell you where to where to catch up. Dude, you know who has the best commentaries for their films, low key? Is Edgar Wright's Blu-rays.
Yes. Yep.
They have like 7 commentaries for each movie.
Yes.
Hot
But
Fuzz. Hold on, I have Hot Fuzz right here.
Hot Fuzz with me and I like this one, but Tarantino's actually he did a commentary for Hot Fuzz.
Okay.
And it is fantastic.
That is true. I see right here. 5 commentaries, including one with director
one.
Edgar Wright and special guest
Simon
Quentin
Pegg.
Tarantino.
Wow.
5
That's a good
commentaries
one.
for the same movie is crazy.
That's great. Zodiac.
Mia,
has
do you like
2.
Hot Fuzz? I'm not sure if you've seen
I
it.
haven't seen it.
It's fun. It's making fun of like American like early 2000s action
Cop
movies that
movies.
had like the fast cutting, and it's so funny to watch once you know that.
I was telling you, Mia, you have to watch the Tropic Thunder director's commentary with Robert Downey Jr. in character. It's
Yes,
so funny.
yes. Oh my god, that's
because
unhinged.
in the movie he says, "I don't drop character until the DVD commentary." So he does the
And
DVD
then he does the whole
commentary
thing.
in character.
He was just
Oh
talking
my
about that
God.
movie too, like how it would never get made today.
Yeah, I think Ben Stiller.
Like, yeah, no shit, dude.
Yeah,
I
yeah, no
mean,
shit.
My thing is that if you can authentically figure out how to do a story like that, a Mel Brooks type of parody or that, we need it.
I feel like that's the last one we'll see for a while. If there ever is a new one, it's gonna be like, I wouldn't say maybe for another 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, I'll say, to me, the person who does the best commentaries because he does them by himself is David Fincher.
What's your timestamp?
I'm at 1:18:50.
Yep.
Ooh, right on the money, dude.
I think someone was synced up with me. I could hear it. Someone was synced up.
No, we're all
I think
synced up.
me.
Yeah.
Our cycles are synced
Locked
up.
in.
We're all synced up.
You know what's interesting about David Fincher's, like specifically the
Fast
Social
Cars
Network?
is playing. Listen to the score.
The Social Network one has one with just him, and then there's another one that has
Like
the
whole
cast. And the cast one is weird because it's cut together from like 5 different like commentaries, and it just sounds weird. Like it doesn't feel like anyone's in the same room.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
That's the Armageddon one.
And you can tell it's so fast. You're like, oh my god, none of these people are in the same room.
That's the Armageddon. The Armageddon Criterion one is like it's spliced up like that. Like
Armageddon is on Criterion.
Yeah, it's not available on the Blu-ray, but it's like one of the original ones. Like if you go back, you can see Chasing Amy's on Criterion, and it's like one of the original DVDs.
The Rock
is on there. Armageddon.
Interesting.
Blade Runner, Lawrence of Arabia, Wizard of Oz. Those are all Laserdisc Criterions. So is RoboCop.
That's
Wizard
the famous.
Of Oz is so scary.
Okay. RoboCop is so fucking good.
The famous Criterion when Ben Affleck's making fun of Armageddon. That's the Criterion audio commentary.
Interesting.
I wish they would go back and like re-release those for like the newer.
They should,
like,
honestly,
because they did that for Fear and Loathing.
Give me that
in
4K
Las Vegas.
of Armageddon. Give me that 4K of Armageddon. Like of all of
it's like the only Michael Bay movie that will ever get a Criterion. Maybe Transformers.
The Rock is on. The Rock is on Criterion.
Oh, I forget that's his movie. Never mind. You're right. The Rock.
You'll put.
I don't know.
On Criterion.
Ambulance. Sailing.
Bro, when they start singing Enya, Jake Gyllenhaal is hilarious in that movie.
I kind of didn't like that movie as much as I wanted to, but I had fun with it.
It
was just a comeback for Michael
fantastic.
Bay.
Ambulance.
Ambulance. Oh.
Ambulancin.
You mean ambulance? L.A. Lance?
Yeah.
L.A.
But put Yaya in
I like the red heels.
That man is fantastic. What?
Very Judy Garland.
No, why did they put her in those heels? Because she looks like she works at a bank.
No one watched the race.
In a way, she kind of does. She's like a broker for art.
Oh my god, that's funny. Yeah.
She's like an art bank artist.
That block heel is definitely no.
I can't think.
The tension, man.
Do you think Nolan knew that this was Denzel's son?
Like he didn't know when he cast him.
I mean, he didn't know who the fuck Harry Styles was, so I don't know.
I wonder what he saw Harry Styles in to make him go him. That's the one.
I think he probably had to audition. Probably.
I think he just auditioned for it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, and he's not briefed on like who the okay.
Well, yeah. Also,
I think he said like his daughter like was that's Harry Styles. He's like, who's Harry Styles? I don't know who this person is.
I think there was some strategy
Pattinson
behind that.
Real quick, like Pattinson is pretty much a lead actor now, right?
Completely.
And, and he's
been a lead actor.
Yeah.
Since Twilight, he just didn't he just changed trajectory.
He doesn't have the ego to be like, I'm not going to be the lead of this movie. I'm the number 2. for this, and he shows up and he's fantastic in this.
I mean, I'll
he's
say
like-
this about Pattinson, dude. Like, whenever Twilight came out, everybody kind of dogged him for it, and I still kept up with his career. I mean, High Life came out,
100%.
Good Time came out, this came out. I remember that whenever the Batman came
Rover?
out, the Rover, yes,
Rover?
dude. I remember whenever
Go
the
back,
Batman
Water for
came out,
Elephants, man.
Water Elephants
When
with Reese
the-
Witherspoon.
when the Batman came out, I remember that I like posted on my like somewhere on there, like online. You know how I'll see movies kind of early and I'll be like, I'm not watching the Batman, and people were like responding to me and saying like, is he good? Like, I haven't seen him since Twilight, and I'm like, dude, he's like a great actor. Like, he's not just Twilight. Like, he's a genuinely great actor. Like, yes, he's fucking good. Like, I've been rocking with Pat.
Same with Kirsten
Yeah.
Dunst. No,
Dude,
not her.
yes.
No,
Or-
no, you know,
ooh,
Kirsten
Kirsten
Stewart.
Yeah,
Stewart,
did you see
yes.
Civil War this year?
So
Kirsten
good,
Dunst.
so good. But
Yeah.
Kirsten Dunst, ever since Melancholia, has had me in a
So,
chokehold.
Kristen Stewart, like
Like, bring it on,
Spencer.
obviously.
Yes,
Oh
bring
my
it
God.
on.
Great.
Bring it on.
But this spirit
Virgin Suicides. Okay, so this
Virgin
is the perfect
Suicides is
time to
good.
bring it up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did all
Nolan?
this backwards.
So Mia, Nolan is colorblind. He can't see red, so you usually don't see red in his movies. But this
This
movie
is a
starts.
lot of red.
Yeah, it starts with red because red is the forward, like the timeline that's going forward. And this is the first time he's had a red dominant movie. If you go back and watch all of his movies, you're gonna be like, yeah, there's not a lot of red.
Wow.
It's because he can't see it.
All of his
What a blue.
all of
He
his
likes blue.
movies are color graded in a way that's like more blue, like
And
Or it's like
green.
blues and greens. Yeah.
it's a lot of
Oranges.
not Pantones, but like you know the suits they were wearing before they did the whole heist that Mia was like calling out. It's like that makes sense because like he can see those colors. That essentially he can't
But
see
also
red.
when they were in India, he was in a green
Ye-
room wearing a green suit on a green chair. That scene was so beautifully colored. Like that was so pretty.
It is interesting to think though that like he mentions with the Dark Knight that he was trying to kind of make it like his own version of Heat, and Heat also has like
Yeah.
a very blue dominated
Yeah.
like color grading to it. Which
He is
Heat also
fantastic,
is so
man.
fucking good. Yeah.
Oh, what's his name? Jason
Oh,
Taylor
Aaron
Thomas.
Taylor Johnson.
Yes, that one.
What did you
Jason
say?
Taylor Thomas.
Jason
Aaron-
Taylor Thomas.
So okay, so
Jonathan Taylor
since we're-
Thomas.
Since we're okay,
Jason Taylor Thomas is his
improvement.
name now.
Oh my God, yeah, that's
So-
him.
So
are you guys
Aaron
watching
Taylor
Craven the
Johnson
Hunter with Jason
Yes.
Taylor Johnson?
Yes. Yes,
Jason Taylor Johnson.
it's
I'm gonna
JC
call him
Sandor.
back
I gotta
now.
go see it. Honestly,
Jason Taylor
What's he in?
Johnson's new movie. He's in the new Craven the Hunter movie.
No,
like
He's
a
also
Marvel.
Kick-Ass.
what else is he
So-
in? What do I recognize him from?
Kick-Ass.
Bullet Train is mainly kick-ass.
Bullet
though.
Train. Kick-Ass was
What
the
else?
big one though. What else was he in? I'm trying to think.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Fall Guy.
Fall Guy was good.
Oh, Nocturnal Animals. He's a beast in that
Nocturnal
movie.
Animals. That's what it was. I knew it was
He's-
something like slightly
He's
more.
a beast
serious.
in
That's
that
his
movie.
best-
He's
that's
weird
his
in
best
that
That-
movie.
performance to date.
and I knew it was I knew it was a
Directed
character
by
that
Tom Ford.
terrified me.
He's a
Yeah.
weirdo in
Oh.
that movie.
Tom
He's a
Ford.
dog.
I love that
Yeah.
movie so fucking much.
Tom
That-
Ford is a
Adams,
great
Queen.
director, man.
It's interesting
And
to
you know
hear what
what?
it
He
takes.
stepped away from fashion and sold his fucking brand for what? For what? To tell the entire world I'm stepping away so I can raise my son and focus on directing. What has
I
he
mean,
done since then?
He's made A
Yeah.
Single Man and Nocturnal Animals. Like, that's just pretty some damn.
Okay,
That's
wait,
it.
hold on.
He sold his
His
brand
suits-
10 years ago.
His suits were in Skyfall, and I love the suits in that movie. I
Oh
will
my
say that.
God. No, the green dress in Nocturnal Animals, all the entire
Oh.
wardrobe.
Fantastic.
Oh.
I love Tom Ford. And you're 100% right. He should be making more movies. And
What brand
He's-
did he make?
Tom Ford.
Ford.
Tom Ford,
He was
He has his
also
own
I guess
the
I'm not in
designer at
fashion.
Gucci for like 10 years.
Like, he has
Gucci's
his own
prime.
suits.
Like
That was him? Like D. Tom Ford
Yeah.
was like
Yeah,
I'm
he
gonna
was-
make movies?
he
Yeah.
started
The
Tom Ford. He
director
was
of
designing
Nocturnal
Tom Ford
Animals.
while he was designing at Tom Ford and building his brand. He was also designing for Gucci, and then he was designing for Yves Saint Laurent. That man was fucking busy, and then
He's
he
an
stepped away
icon.
from fashion completely.
If it's not a movie, I don't know about it. Like that's my thing. Is I'm so bad
That's
about
amazing
shit.
though that he has like an
but
entire.
the thing is that like all that stuff you're talking about, like fashion is an art, and people might not
Yeah.
put like they
yeah,
don't.
like Martin
is.
Scorsese
might-
does Gucci
It's not me,
campaigns,
though.
and
Mhm.
I mean, Mia, look what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a Nirvana t-shirt with an IMAX hat. Like, I don't know anything about fashion.
When I went to the Yves Saint Laurent show, I was sitting next to David Cronenberg and Gaspar Noé.
No fucking way. Hold on.
Yes,
You know David
yes.
Cronenberg?
I recorded a video.
Girl,
I recorded a video like zooming in and out and like panning of like the girls walking by us and then the Eiffel Tower twinkling. And when I stopped recording, David Cronenberg leaned over to me and he said, "That was really impressive. That was beautifully shot." And I died. I died.
Hold on a second.
That's
amazing. So
wait,
how much
there's a
station did you
picture
have?
of me and him somewhere. Hold on.
That's amazing.
The man
That
himself.
is insane to me that she said. I love Cronenberg.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Crimes of the Future.
Oh,
was
hold
not
on.
for
I
me,
just
but
found this
love that
picture. You are sat next to him. That is crazy.
Wait, show it. I want to see it.
No, I
So
like that
hold
was
on.
that was
What year
insane.
was this? What year
This was last
Mia?
year.
So Crimes of the Future was out.
Yeah.
What else was he working on? He just did this short film for Mubi. Did you guys talk at all about his
He
films?
shot the campaign. Oh no, Gaspar Noé shot the campaign for Yves Saint Laurent for that entire collection. So that's why they had all of these filmmakers there, and like fashion is art. It's all intertwined.
It is.
100%.
It's just not something that I watch, unfortunately.
But it's like
Like that's one of those things where I feel like I
talk
just
about
don't know
Nolan.
about art.
Nolan
or
always
fashion,
has
I mean.
everybody in suits. Like his, his costume design, which we haven't talked about, even though we've done like what 8 movies for him. It's so pivotal for him, and he always puts them in suits because that's his like reflection of himself in a sense, right? But I think it's
he definitely
fantastic.
cast Robert Pattinson because he's a little vain and he sees himself in him. He looks like him when he was younger.
Yeah,
He does.
Honestly, with the hair, you're.
Like,
you're
I mean,
so
look at
right.
Memento
Those
with Guy
piercing
Pearce,
eyes.
dude.
It looks kind of
He
like
always has a
Frosted
lead that looks like him.
Leonardo, we were
dresses
just
like
talking
him.
about him for Inception too. Yeah,
Tips.
that
That is like
I
Leo.
still can't
It
get
is
over
like
the
Leo
fact
hair,
that
actually.
you talked to Cronenberg. That's so cool.
I know. I just saw the photo. That's
He was
insane.
so nice. I offered him a mint. He took it.
Oh, I would live with that for the rest of my life. Like I would.
No,
That's
that
I could die
compliment
happy.
on my videography.
Right?
He said something
It doesn't
so
get better
cool.
than that.
He said something so
get
cool
better than that.
afterwards. He said it's really really cool to see so many young people being able to document things so easily. Like I actually love seeing like phones in everyone's hand. I love seeing people take every opportunity they can to record everything they can.
He's so
And
fucking cool.
he was
I love
talking
that
to
guy.
Jürgen Teller, and Jürgen Teller is I don't know if you're familiar with his work, but he's an iconic photographer. And
Yeah.
in the 90s, like everything he shot was on film.
yeah.
And as of recently, every campaign, everything he's shot has been on iPhone. And that's what has set his work apart. Like his subject, if they are not coming through, then nothing is given. Like it's the true test of can you photograph and can you model when he's shooting.
Mhm.
So they were talking about the use of iPhones.
Greg Williams, he has a whole thing about it. He does some fantastic still work, but anytime there's like, award season or anything, if you see like a fantastic photo of any actor, it's
Probably
probably from
him.
Greg Williams. Yeah.
He's awesome.
Photography, another amazing art that is
Yeah.
not easy to do. I love it. My dad was a photographer when he grew up, and it's like it's in my DNA. I love it.
Me too.
I love the transition of like, and this is probably what, like the halfway point of the movie?
Is it
I
a little
was
bit
just
more?
checking
Over
because
A little bit
10
more,
minutes
or
more than halfway.
Yeah,
30,
It's
50.
such a pivotal like switch of like this. Once you go through the turnstile and all this shit happens, like,
Wow, I love that shot.
oh,
Look at
He
that.
has such
blue.
distinct,
Look at that
like,
blue.
Guys, I think the movie's growing on me. I think it's growing on me.
I'm telling
This
you,
time-
dude, it's so fucking good. It's
It's
so
really
much
good.
fun. The scene, okay, the
I love
scene,
this movie.
the original highway scene where they're doing the whole thing and there's like the turn, like the inverted car, that's cool. But the version that's like from the other perspective is so much fucking cooler.
Oh yeah.
Like all of this shit with everything being inverted.
But see, that's
like,
the thing.
dude.
Nolan keeps it simple. The concept is like obviously like really out there, but we just saw the scene happen, and now we're going at it from a different angle. But we know what the story objectives are, like the plot. So he's like,
You've
you've
already
got the
seen it.
plot out of
Yeah,
the way.
You've already seen
So
it.
now just
It's-
focus on this being cool.
It's
That's
interesting
it.
to see everything in the inverted world where like he's going forward and everything else is going backwards, because like it'd be so easy to forget like, oh, what about all this dust? What about the bird flying backwards? What about like the
Mhm.
cars, like the glass like
the
coming
glass
back
breaking,
together?
yeah.
truly just masterful work here. I don't care what anybody says. This is top 3 Nolan.
I've said it multiple times. Chris Nolan is
on
a
technicality.
Name. Chris Nolan is a name that will always be in film history. Like people know who Chris Nolan is. That's why they call his movies an event film. Any director that's not like obviously Spielberg, Scorsese, like Pete, like it's like these.
But they produce. They pump out so much more.
Yeah, Chris Nolan is like he's the guy in 30, 40 years when you're like in a film school or whatever. Like you're watching Chris Nolan films.
It'll be
like,
Nolan.
People know
Denny.
that name.
Denny.
I don't think Denny's there yet. I don't think because
he's there. He's definitely there.
Okay, put it this way:
in there.
In 2015, Denny was doing an interview, and he was like, "I hope I have one movie where like people look back on it and they're like, wow, that's fantastic movie. That movie's in the film books."
He said that after he'd already made Blade Runner?
No, right before he made Blade Runner.
Okay.
So he had made Prisoner or Incendie, Prisoners, and Sicario at that point, and he was making
Sicario was like fantastic. That's a classic. Yeah,
fantastic.
Sicario is a goat.
Here's my thing with that: people know those movies, they don't know that guy.
That's true. Okay,
I understand.
If he had an easier name to pronounce, more people would know him.
They know Chris Nolan.
Denny Villeneuve.
Exactly, yeah, I agree.
I
agree with Pat though, to an extent. Because even if Dune is as big as it is, people don't know Dune because of Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah,
they know Dune because of the story.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
with Interstellar, with Dunkirk, with Tenet, anything, it's Nolan movie. It doesn't matter what the title is.
So when they date these movies, Mia,
I love Denny.
Like I love Dune 1 and 2, but it's true.
I just know that Chris Nolan would slap you in the face for saying that.
Oh, he probably would, but he'd probably say I'm not wrong.
It's unfortunate.
Actually, Nolan and Denny, didn't they just do a thing for Dune Part 2?
Yeah. And that's how much he believes in him. He is campaigning so hard for him to win.
Don't get me wrong. I personally, Dune, I'm a huge Dune fan. I mean, you can ask these boys right here. I'm literally the biggest Dune fan I know.
And breathes Dune.
Yeah.
I'm looking at 3 copies of Dune right now. The same book in 3 different formats. I have 4 different copies of the movie. One's from Japan.
He's got the war bussy sitting somewhere in his room.
I have a poster right here. 2 posters of Dune. Like, I'm a Dune fanatic, but I kind of agree with what Pat's saying. It's the name is not known yet.
It will be over time, but like Nolan has gotten to a point where he is already in that conversation. Like he's in the top directors of all time.
He's been making his Dunes since Inception.
But I still feel like until Oppenheimer, he was much
he was still more known. Yeah, I'm not saying that.
That's because he got a big
The Dark Knight.
Yeah,
The Dark Knight is what put Nolan on the map, and
Blade Runner.
Ever since then, it's a Chris Nolan event film. They call them event.
They literally date it as that. Yeah. Like what the new movie for next year literally is the Christopher Nolan event film in IMAX. That's what it'll say for everybody.
Look, Denny will be in the conversation 20, 30 years as one of the greatest directors to ever live. But people nowadays don't know that name. They know they're like, oh, I like Prisoner.
They know the name. They know the movies.
I like Dune. I like Arrival, but they don't know who made it. And 95% of a general audience. 95%.
I think they're starting to get to that point.
I think so too. I think he's being
the easiest way to think about with stuff like this is that the name Nolan is a brand. Dune is the brand.
Dune, yeah, exactly. 100%.
Dune is the brand.
Nolan's also billed all of his movies as Christopher Nolan's or a film by Christopher Nolan on every single poster, everything. So that was also a branding decision from the very beginning. I don't think Denis has that. I think it just says directed by. Thing. Yeah.
Damn.
Neither of the posters for Dune 1 or 2 have his name on it.
Was it for Alien Romulus that they had Ridley Scott's name on there, Pat? If I remember right, for the trailer. Yeah.
From producer Ridley Scott.
No.
Alien Romulus, I saw it with a film festival audience. Talk about like one of the best experiences I've ever had in a theater.
So here's another
very divided on Alien Romulus.
Here's another example of that. Who directed Nightmare Before Christmas?
Not Tim Burton. Tim Burton his name is attached to it, but it was
his name is attached to it, so everybody thinks that he made that movie and he didn't.
I saw the little
he ain't got the sauce for that.
like mini documentary on Netflix.
Henry Selick did it, but it's one of those things where like they thought his name would attract more people, and it did. Like it worked.
And he was originally attached to it. Like it's his art design. Like he conceptualized it, and then he just left. So he had nothing to do with what they did with the characters, but he did conceptualize them.
it's like Spielberg with Back to the Future and the Goonies.
Yeah.
People think Spielberg directed the Goonies. Like it's
Who
Richard
directed
Donner,
the Goonies?
but
Richard Donner.
Oh.
And then
He
obviously,
made
obviously
The
Zemeckis made
Omen,
Back to the
Superman,
Future. And then people say that Spielberg co-directed Poltergeist, and
which
he did co-direct. He did co-direct the, yeah. He did also co-direct the "Say Hello to My Little Friend" in Scarface. But
I'm trying to think of like other
that
instances of
shot
this
that's
where
going
like
up the stairs.
in a way that's
but yeah,
almost like the
it's like a presents. It's a presents thing. Steven
what
Spielberg
is that
presents.
called?
Tim Burton presents.
There's like a word for it, the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
It's like that for
Mandela
film.
effect. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of other instances of that might be like well known, like documented cases of like people think it's this because of this.
Well,
but I
it
can't
doesn't
think
help,
of-
especially with Tim Burton, because he made Corpse Bride. So then people are like, "Oh, he
Yeah.
definitely made Nightmare Before Christmas." It's the same thing. Like,
It's interesting.
also Corpse Bride, great movie though.
Corpse Bride is good. Corpse Bride is very good. Corpse Bride is very good. I can't think of anything else really. I'm sure there's others, but I just can't think of anything.
Spielberg's the big one though. Him and Bob
Oh, yeah.
Zemeckis, because obviously,
Bobby
they've
Z.
got they've got the similar DNA, but I think the way that Zemeckis makes his movies are fundamentally different. Which I know
Mhm.
Pat knows what I'm talking about because
I
we've talked
don't know if
about
this
this
counts.
at length.
Because he technically did like co-direct on some of the stuff, I think. But is it Tarantino helped with Grindhouse and like Planet Terror?
Well, he
Yeah.
directed one of them, and then Rodriguez made the other, right?
Yeah,
But they was like they kind of both had their hands in both buckets.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's like who directed what parts are kind of hard to like.
Tarantino made the one with Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
He made that one, Planet Terror or whatever. Yeah.
But like people don't associate that movie with Tarantino. Like they don't think of like that as a Tarantino film. If
Oh
that
no,
makes sense.
they
You
probably
know what I mean?
they probably know he made
That's
it. They
almost like a
probably didn't know he-
reverse
Yeah.
version of it.
Yeah. The one thing I love about Nolan is scenes like this. This is literally just like a shipping container, and it works, man.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a $250 million movie, and
All you
And
need-
I bet
never-
that set was cool as fuck to shoot into all that plastic.
Oh, I know. Oh, and they have to like look at the lighting when it cuts to, look at the lighting here, right? They're probably doing poor man's or something, and they do a great job. Since Hoyt linked up with Nolan, everything has been better. And
Someone
we're
said
about to-
based on the rules of Tenet, we have the best podcast so far because it hasn't happened yet.
I'll meet you
Oh,
at
is
the
that
beginning.
right?
I'll meet
Yeah,
you
on
at the
Twitter.
beginning.
Yeah, if it hasn't happened yet.
I love the ending of this movie. Also, the beginning of it too, with like Robert Pattinson's character running, but you don't realize it's him until the very end, and you rewatch this.
Man.
There's a lot of like rewarding moments for rewatch value on this movie.
100%.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love movies like that.
I did say that Debicki is the person you're rooting for, like emotionally in this movie, but after you rewatch it, you're rooting for this man. You're
rooting for
Pattinson's
them
character.
together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the
They're just
substance.
best friends trying to hang out.
I don't know if we talked about it at all yet, but rewatched The Substance recently because Avery hadn't seen
Bro.
it. And
I did a double
Bro.
feature watching The Substance. I saw The Wild Robot and then I saw The Substance.
that is a
I
wild
did
double
the same
feature.
thing pretty
Great
much. That's
movie,
so
but
bad.
that is
So
a wild
unhinged.
double feature. So wait, which one did you watch first?
Wild Robot, and then it was
Good.
accidentally in 3D, and it was at 11 a.m. and then immediately went into The Substance at 1 p.m.
So I watched The Substance, not knowing anything about it. I had seen Carly Farjat's first film, Revenge, and I really liked it. So I
Revenge.
was like, I didn't rewatch it either before it came out. So I went to go see it, thinking like, oh, this will be good, but it blew me away. And this was an early screening, so I was like really excited to see it. And I invited my girlfriend to go see it with me, but she was just like, I'm just not feeling it tonight. Like, I don't think I'll go. So I went to go see it, and I was like, dude, you missed out big time. And so we watched it again recently because she wanted to see it, and I was like, I want to watch it again. But like, there is so much on a second viewing that you.
Oh, yeah.
Even that movie is like you rewatch it, and it's like there is so much just right in front of you that you don't even notice.
And I was rewatching it so I saw it alone last showing in the theater by myself. And then at the film festival, I saw it with a full audience. And every time they're groaning about something, I'm laughing because I'm like, y'all get to experience the craziness of this movie. And
Film festival audiences
It's
are so
so
hard
good.
to gauge for a movie like that because with an audience like that, I always think about it like
I mean,
they don't care what they're watching. They're there to watch anything. So like if it's just not their cup of tea, they're not going to sit through it. Like I saw
Yeah.
Echo Drift
They
at the
were-
Atlanta Film Festival and everybody
Yeah.
hated it.
Yeah, when people
I
say,
mean-
"Oh, they walked out," yeah, they probably like you can't.
they're
you can't
disrespectful.
go-
That's what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never walked out of a movie.
I've walked out of a movie. I walked out of Babylon.
No.
I walked out of Babylon so early. I didn't even know Tobey
That's
Maguire
a
was
day
in
of
it.
all days.
I know, because Margot Robbie said in 20 years.
Not in the hive.
So
Hell no.
I literally
You were there
spent the
alone.
morning. I spent the morning listening to Margot Robbie and then literally Damien Chazelle.
Like
and they're both talking about Babylon. Yeah, would bang.
Everybody's been defending that movie
But
all day on Twitter.
I know.
I will say, Mia, when you get time, revisit that movie. You might,
Mia. Okay, so I'll say this,
enjoy
Mia.
it.
She had a better performance in, what was that Wes Anderson film? That she had 45 seconds
Asteroid
in.
City.
Asteroid
Oh,
City.
that was so fucking
Mia,
cute.
about Babylon. How many times have you seen it? Just the one time?
No, I actually saw it twice, and I did make it through a little bit longer the second time, but still walked out.
I'll say this.
Both times too early to know that Tobey Maguire was in it.
I hated. Okay, so you didn't even get to the meat. I'll say this. I didn't like it. No, dude.
No.
Picks up
So
in the second.
the end of the movie is like it's the best part of the movie.
They
right?
shouldn't have made the end 4 hours.
Avatar is in the end. They show Avatar clips.
They show Avatar
They
clips.
do?
In the end. They show
They
clips
actually
of Avatar
do.
for like 2 seconds.
You're
yeah.
lying.
They have the
And the
correct
Matrix.
aspect ratio
And
and
the
everything.
Matrix.
That's
Everything's in
serious.
the correct aspect ratio. It's so cool. So okay.
Dead serious.
What
Yeah,
the
it's a
fuck are you
celebration
talking?
of
Wait,
cinema
what are you
by the
talking
end.
about?
They,
So
it
Are we
there's a
talking
basically
scene
about
at
the
the
same
end of the
movie?
movie.
We're talking
where
about
he
Babylon.
goes to
We're
a
talking
movie
about
theater,
Babylon. Okay.
and it shows him just experiencing the magic of cinema
The
for like the next
history of
100
film,
years.
yeah.
It is so cool.
Yeah. You see
What?
Avatar.
You
When
gotta
Avatar
get
showed up,
through it. We're telling you.
No, I'm not gonna get through it, but I will fast forward to the end.
I'll send you the clip.
Just pull
the
it up
clip
on
of the
YouTube.
end.
It's
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Exactly.
It has to be.
Okay.
I
It's on
didn't
TikTok
like it
for
the
sure.
first time I
You know
saw
what?
it,
I'll watch
but-
Babylon as it was intended in 14 parts on a TikTok series. I'll watch that scene.
When Avatar did pop up in the theater, I started cracking up. I just burst out laughing, like fucking
And it's
Honestly,
like
This
considered
movie-
like a
3 hours,
huge marvel
3
of
hours into
cinema
that
now.
movie, I couldn't even process what I was seeing. I was just like, I'm so tired. I want to go home.
Dude. So Babylon pissed me off so much that I like walked out like crying. I was like, "What the fuck was that?" I was so mad.
That it really
I
hurt
need to
my head.
rewatch it. I need to rewatch
So
it.
Mia, big question on the Wild Robot. How did you like that movie?
So I'm not the biggest fan of that animation style.
I'm
There
not
was
either.
Yeah, but I loved the story. I thought it was so heartwarming. I thought it was beautifully like voice acted. Every single animal
Lupita.
reminded me of my cats. Like they did such a good job of humanizing every single animal. But
I
there were
cried
some
3
moments where that
animation got in the
animation
way.
style
Yeah.
got to me. Yeah.
So
I think
what they
that
did with the
everybody's
animation,
trying to do Puss in Boots and like the
Yeah.
like
And
the
Puss in
the
Boots makes me
Spider-Man.
uncomfortable. It's so creepy.
so
The
they
animation style's
Same,
off.
same studio.
through the movie, they actually
Oh, is it?
yeah,
all studios have their own set of animation, so they're all gonna look the same.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, wait, it
Illumination
is
has their
DreamWorks.
own.
You're right, and they did
Pixar
do
has
like
their own. DreamWorks has their own. It's all animation style.
I didn't even
Wild
think about the fact that
Robots?
it's DreamWorks. You're right.
But that's why I like
What's her
Pixar so much. The advancements that
Yeah.
they've made in animation are unmatched. I think.
Fantastic.
I think. What's the other
Toy
one
Story
that
4
that steps
with
up
the
to
rain.
them? Illumination.
Illumination is
like
the one that does
Despicable Me.
Despicable Me, Minions, Secret
Yeah.
Life of Pets.
Like all the humans look the same, kind of like it's like
Yeah.
they're like long.
They also
not
did the
that
Super
one.
Mario Bros. Movie.
Yeah.
I mean, Moana 2, to its credit, I didn't love it. I
Wait,
felt
it
like
wasn't.
it was.
It's not live action.
That's not Pixar. Well, Moana 2 is not Pixar.
They're
that's
making
like
a different
Disney.
Moana.
They're
movie.
making a different Moana movie. That's live action. It's
Actually,
coming out
Which
next
one is
year.
the one that's out right now?
Moana 2.
It's the
second
Moana
The
2. It's
animation?
animated.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Okay.
The
I have no-
animation looks amazing.
Oh.
The 3D for it, I actually went to go see it in 3D specifically because I just
How do you
love
feel about 3D movies? Because I accidentally saw Wild Robot in 3D and
Terrible.
I hated it. I
I
was
like
so
3D.
angry.
I like 3D
like
if it's
3D.
used properly and if it's used to its advantage,
But
which I do
You
think for Moana
you know how
it was
hard
not.
it is to do that though, Martin. Like it is hard to like get a movie
think-
to look good in our.
Here's my
I
thing,
mean,
that,
How do you
I
feel
don't
about
agree
how
with
do you
that.
feel about 4D? Is
I don't like
anything
that.
worth
I don't
seeing
like
in
doing
4D?
that. Nope.
Too much.
Not doing it,
4Ds,
not
too
doing it.
many Ds.
much.
I
need
went to
2
go
Ds.
see.
Too much.
I went to go see Tomb Raider in 4D because I told a group of friends I wanted to go see it, and they booked tickets to go see it in 4D. And the opening scene is like on a boat, so my fucking chair was like just like this for like.
It moves
10
like
minutes.
that fluidly. That actually
Yes,
sounds
and
really
then
fucking cool.
There was a scene. No, it took me out of it so much. And then there was a scene where
It's
they were
good
like
for a
Does your
running like
popcorn go all
water.
over you?
Yeah, I feel like for a rewatch, those probably
Yeah.
are fun.
Yeah.
Like
For a
seeing
rewatch,
Wait,
it is
speaking of
fun.
popcorn, how the
Yeah.
fuck have you guys gotten an hour and 47 minutes into a movie and haven't had a single snack.
Okay,
Like,
I'll say this.
I've had a Coke.
Mia,
That's about it.
I worked at a movie theater for 6 years. I fucking hate the smell of popcorn.
It is like I can't watch a movie and not like I need to be munching.
I
I
do
did
get it
some
right here.
drink a beer.
These are liquids.
The
That's
costumes
not
here
a
are fantastic.
snack.
Water.
This is my snack.
What the fuck?
I do
ordered
get
a pizza
popcorn
in preparation for this.
sometimes. I get popcorn sometimes. It's very rare though. Like I'll get popcorn for movies that I'm not like terribly excited about, because if it's a movie I'm really excited for, I'll just get distracted.
The truth. That's me too. But what
Also,
I do
you shouldn't say that you don't like snacks. Missing sponsorship opportunities.
My bad,
I
you guys.
love
I
snacks.
really
I
like
love popcorn.
Doritos.
I really
Cool
do.
Ranch Doritos.
I didn't say I don't
little-
like snacks.
So what I do when I go to a movie, if I have friends
All I
coming
said was I
with
didn't
me,
like
I just
popcorn.
get
Yeah,
all
what
of
is your
them
go-to?
popcorn.
Yeah, you have to get a
Gummies.
popcorn.
Okay,
No.
I'll
Haribo
say,
gummies.
Wait,
if I
what's-
get any snacks, I do like to get like the sour gummy worms. I do
Yes.
like
Yes.
Reese's Pieces. I like the Reese's that are like the mini cups that you can unravel, but if they have
put
too many of them,
Reese's Pieces in the popcorn, because that's
I've done that before, yeah.
fire.
What else is there? I don't love theaters that have like the like
I
dine-in
love
options.
ordering a giant
But-
trough of tater tots.
Like if I'm going to see Oppenheimer opening night, if
I
I'm
get a
going to see Tenet
hamburger.
opening night, I don't like to go to those theaters because they're just walking in front of you the whole time. But if
Yeah.
it's a movie that I'm just like, whatever, I'll go see this, then I'll go to the theater like
They're
that.
good for second watches.
Yeah.
They're good for second watches.
Because if
very
I'm
good.
seeing a Nolan film, I'm seeing it in IMAX anyway, and no IMAX theater has those capabilities.
No, yeah.
Mm-mm.
Not needed. That would be a
There
that'd be
actually
horrifying.
I
there
feel
is
like
a
for,
theater
like-
here in Atlanta that's a dine-in theater, and their only theater that they have that isn't a dine-in option is the IMAX theater.
I
Yeah,
feel
that
like
makes
for, like,
sense.
especially for Nolan, like when I'm going to see it, I don't like. I need to lock in. I don't need a
Yeah.
snack right now. I need to like watch it first.
Yeah,
I
Second
don't
time,
like
yeah.
eating for the
I'll
first
get,
time
like,
I'm watching
eh,
a big
Let's
movie.
get some popcorn or whatever. Yeah,
I
it's
get too
fine.
locked in. I forget that I
Yeah.
had the food that I bought.
Popcorn,
Yeah.
chocolate covered raisins, non-negotiable.
Raisinets, those are good.
Yeah.
I love her costume design.
I love it.
She's got good
That's-
colors.
That's a bit of a modern take on like Indian clothes. It's very chic. I like it too.
So cool.
And then
I mean, I've told
Denzel,
you-
JD's back in like, whatever,
Maybe.
classic Nolan attire.
He
Which
looks like like Oppenheimer almost, with that
Kinda
color
does.
scheme and
That
the
kinda
more,
does, yeah.
fabric.
He's more like he's put together now. He knows what's going on. So
yeah,
it's-
no,
it
you
suits
can
all
tell
three.
he's got the
The
sauce.
protagonist has grown. He's
One
matured.
thing we don't talk about, JD has swagger. I don't know if y'all watched Malcolm and Marie. That movie was not really good.
didn't
But like
like
the
it.
first 15 minutes, that man.
I
has
don't know
the
how I feel
sauce.
about that script being written by that man.
We
Sam
don't need to talk
Levinson,
about him. We don't need to talk
Dude,
about him.
That movie was
Yeah.
written as a result of nothing but bad reviews about Assassination Nation, and he thinking
Yeah.
that he made like the movie of the year.
Yeah.
What
And
a
because he got one bad
self-aggrandizing-
review, he was like, "I'm gonna make a movie about a guy who makes movies that's definitely not me, but also is me. It is a lot more handsome than me, and can pull Zendaya, but it's definitely
Zendaya
not
needs
me."
to leave. She needs to stop working with that man.
I know.
Good thing she's working with Nolan. Like she does not need to go back to Euphoria. Euphoria doesn't need her, or like she doesn't need Euphoria.
Euphoria doesn't need
needs
to
her.
continue in general. Let's be honest. Euphoria
Yes,
doesn't need-
100%.
It's-
Like where they left the story with Rue,
I like
that's good. We're done.
Sam
with it.
Levinson's kind of like a double-edged sword because he's got some good ideas, but like he just works against himself.
Yeah.
The thing
sounds
is
like
that
Ryan Murphy.
he brought back freaking Ectochrome for season 2. It looks fantastic, but it's like he has good people around him. He has the chops to some extent.
I hated
it's
The
like
Idol. I didn't even
the-
watch like all of it. I watched like 2 episodes. but
Hell
I
no, I was
Exactly.
not
It's
giving
the
that streams.
stories. The
Terrible.
stories themselves are not compelling, not true. I mean, like Euphoria season 1 is compelling, and then it kind of gets a little lost in the second season. But like, yeah, The Idol, that sort of
Is
stuff.
Is it though, or is it just
Is
shot?
it? I was literally about to say. I think it's the
I don't
salaciousness
think
of it
either
that
way.
everybody
No,
was
you're
like
right.
tuned
Honestly,
into.
you might be right.
Is it though? or
No,
is it
for
shot very well?
2019, Euphoria and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood are the 2 best shot things that year.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so the back of this, y'all see the
Chernobyl
thing
came
that's
out in
like,
2019.
What is it?
Ooh, I'm wrong. Yeah, there you go. That's another one.
What came out in
that was-
2019?
Chernobyl.
Chernobyl on IMAX.
Does that
That
count?
thing in the
I mean,
back
I guess it's
re-
a show. I mean, you guys are
I'm
counting shows
I'm
too.
counting it. I'm counting it for
Yeah.
cinematography.
Yeah.
Oh, for cinematography, my bad.
Yeah, completely.
were
Like
just saying for
beautifully
movies in
shot.
general.
Yeah.
Well done show. The sound design for that show is incredible
Oh
too.
my god, it was
Fantastic.
stuff with
so
like
eerie.
the stuff with like the what are those called, like the rogue encounters.
Oh,
That shit, that noise just gives me like
Yeah,
it makes my
I'm
skin
literally
crawl.
getting
I fucking
goosebumps.
hate it.
yeah.
I feel like I'm having radiation poisoning just by hearing
Yeah.
that. No,
Dude,
Yeah.
okay, so that show, I watched it in the middle of COVID, so like lockdown happening, and I remember that like I was watching it at like 9 or 10 p.m. was when I started it, and I stayed up the whole fucking night watching that shit. I was like, this is so fucking insanely
It's
good.
like 5 or 6 episodes, right? I mean,
It's really short.
You're like,
You
this
can
would be
get through it in 9
terrifying if
you
it actually happened.
want.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, it's actually fucking crazy.
You're
Like,
telling me this is real?
you're telling me this shit's real? Like,
But
A
that's
shrimp
like
fry- you're telling me a shrimp
honestly,
fry
like,
this
that's
rice?
one of the
Pride they took in the
Guys, have you heard
historical
9/11?
accuracy of it too, which makes
Yeah,
it even more
it's-
crazy. They're like, no, this is so crazy. We could not even make something up that could be more shocking than what actually
Can't go
happened.
there.
Insanely good
Still can't
cast
go
too.
there.
Jesse Buckley, Stellan Skarsgård. is
Stellan
it?
Skarsgård. Oh,
Oh
Richard
my
Harris.
God.
Or no, not
Richard
Richard Harris.
Harris.
His
No,
son.
The
no.
dude-
The
one dude
Richard
who,
Harris's
like,
son is in
plays-
it. I forgot his name.
The
one
guy
dude
that
who
plays the
like, one of
scientist.
Yeah.
he's like in the like when it's happening. The one dude that's like playing like the manager in there is so fucking good. Like in the first episode.
Yeah. I forget all their fucking names. They're all really good character actors. Stellan Skarsgård especially. We were actually just talking about how he's in like the original version of Insomnia, and it's in the
Yeah.
Criterion
Yeah.
Collection. And
Stellan
and I-
is amazing.
I will say, every single time I've gone to Criterion, like browse,
I saw it today.
I have been looking
I saw
for
it
that
today.
movie. And you didn't get it?
I looked at it. I was like, I should get this, and I didn't get it.
I thought about getting it like also like the wholesale, and I've not found it anywhere.
Maybe
I don't know how to
next
explain it, but these shots of them like doing all this training reminds me of like Pacific Rim.
oh,
Like all the
oh,
shots that they
Pacific
have
Rim.
of them inside the
What a
fucking like.
movie in IMAX.
That's a good IMAX film.
Guillermo
Guillermo
del
del Toro. Just Shape of Water just dropped on Criterion too.
Yeah.
Your,
4K.
I need to
your
rewatch that.
main voices.
The Shape of Water.
The Shape
Yeah.
of Water. is
You
so
enjoyed
good.
that?
Thoroughly enjoyed The Shape of Water.
Mia, have you seen Pan's
I
Labyrinth?
love hearing your film takes. I love hearing your.
It's honestly kind of interesting to hear
No,
what your
no,
film takes are.
but that's
Like,
the thing. If she didn't
it's-
like Shape of Water, that's fine. But she needs to watch.
Yeah,
Pan's
she's
Labyrinth.
allowed to not like
That-
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on,
That'll
though.
make you
Like,
cry.
Let's hear it. What's your take on Shape of Water? Let's get through this.
I think I was just unsettled by the monster.
The fish.
Yeah.
That's
He was
Sorry,
too good
not
looking.
monster.
Understandable.
Sorry.
He's a
It gave me the same. It gave me the same icky feeling that the octopus teacher gave me. He fucked the octopus.
Yo, hold on. I've not seen The Octopus Teacher. What the fuck are you talking about? I've been meaning to watch
I
this.
want an
but now I'm like,
Oscar.
I gotta
I
watch
watched
it now.
What in the
It- it-
bestiality?
It won best
That's how I felt about The
documentary.
Shape of Water. It made me uncomfortable.
Okay, so Shape of Water, I know she fucks the fish, but there's another movie, The Octopus Teacher.
The
Is that what
octopus
it's called?
teacher, and it's
I've
a
been
guy,
wanting to watch
and he
that.
fucks the octopus.
It's a documentary.
This
What?
man leaves
It's a
his family
documentary?
through the
Yeah.
documentary.
Yes.
His family
Yes.
leaves him
Yes.
because he's. I know he's fucking that octopus. No, I know he's fucking that octopus.
Oh
I
my
know.
God.
Yeah, have you seen The Boys? Because that's all I'm thinking of now.
I saw the first season.
So he
I gotta watch
the
this
Deep
Octopus
starts
Teacher
having
movie.
like a whole relationship with an octopus, and it's voiced by Kate Blanchett.
That's
So
hilarious.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Oh wait, and then
Octopus
he's feeding
teacher.
him. I've seen the little clip. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what made me want to go back and give that show not another chance. I really enjoyed the first season, but it lost me somehow.
It's
I don't know.
one?
For a while, I could. Huh? Yes,
Yes.
It's rated TVG.
it's a they don't show him fucking the octopus.
have
We're
sex.
reading what?
I don't want to watch it anymore. I don't want to watch it.
Oh my god.
It says
watch
a
the- you have to
filmmaker
watch the director's
forges
cut.
an unusual friendship.
He
That's all
literally
it
leaves
says.
his family.
He
to hang with
There's
an
no
octopus.
fucking way he leaves his family for a fish.
He literally
There's
tells
no
his son
fucking
to
way.
fuck off.
He be-
His son
becomes
during it
obsessed.
says, "Papa, we miss you.
Yeah.
Come hang out with us more."
Papa,
And he
miss
just
you.
goes back to the
Please
What
stop
is this
fucking a
conversation?
fish. Papa.
He's Australian. I don't know what they call like father down there.
Father, will you please stop
Bird-
fucking a
bird
fish and
father.
come home?
Oh my god.
What'd you think of Furiosa this year?
Did you see Furiosa?
It was nice. It was enjoyable. I'm not that big of a fan of it. It's okay. So I have a very hard time with like loud and in your face. So like a lot of it overstimulates me a lot and it scares me and it makes me like
That's fair.
wince.
You guys know how
I didn't enjoy
AMC
seeing it in theaters.
does those like sensory friendly movies?
That's literally what I need.
Would you watch it like that? Like, would you watch
a movie like
that?
I would watch like that. But like a movie like this, mild action, I'm fine with. But like things like that is really
Furiosa's in your face.
I need to take a Pranolol before I go and watch those movies.
I was about to ask about Oppenheimer, but I realized, I mean, that movie really doesn't have as much like explosion or action as it really does.
Tension.
It's like very tension filled.
The most intense thing about Oppenheimer is after the bomb goes off and that shot that goes like when he's in the auditorium.
Yeah.
That
was
shot
scary.
goes in. Ooh, like
that was terrifying.
I was prepared for that scene to go like visually further than it did. Like the whole thing with him stepping in like the corpse was cool, but I was like, this is gonna go further, dude, and it just never did. I still think it's awesome.
I thought it went like I thought it went deep. Yeah,
it went far. It went as far as it needed to.
Yeah, that because it was getting a little like gore porn.
Because the problem is if you go too far into that, then
especially
it's like
it actually happened to human beings. Like their skin did melt. Like it was towing the line of.
That's why it just makes me think of like Come and See, and I thought to myself like, dude, this guy could get there if he wanted to, but it was. I mean, I still really like what he did with that movie.
He's still working for a studio.
Yeah,
he is.
Because
if
you go full I mean, no, but that's the thing. If you're working for a studio, you can use symbolism and visuals, right? Because the meaning of what you get with Come and See at the end is what he does with the end of Oppenheimer, right? With all the missiles going up and all that sort of stuff. That's the same mirroring of like, he sees that, what he's made is going to cause all this death and he understands it. That's the end of the movie, right? It's not a happy ending. It is very much a sobering moment of like, I made something that's gonna kill millions of people.
And he spent the rest of his life speaking out against it and speaking out in wanting to start a world coalition of just to patrol the nuclear weapons that are he very much regretted what he did.
I love that this scene. Sorry, I got kind of locked in for a second. The scene where he's like talking to Aaron. What would we call him? James Taylor Johnson.
He's such
earlier.
a good actor.
Yeah. Well, he kind of also doubles down on the idea of like them saying like, don't try to understand it, feel it. He kind of doubles down on that, saying basically like, hey, if you can't look past this movie beyond linear terms and like the time that it's doing, then like just step away now because it's about to go into fucking overdrive, and we're gonna give you the best thing that this movie has to offer. So he kind of still is like talking through like the screen. He's like saying like, "Hey,
oh yeah, of course.
If you can't get with this movie now, I just leave. You gotta vibe with it."
Nolan the thing about Nolan is that he gets better. We talk about it. He just keeps getting better. Oh my, like everything is getting better.
He said, "Oh my god."
No, but that shot of the bounce. I'm sorry.
I was like, oh my god.
Man.
But it's truly like, how do you make something so mundane look so lush? It looks beautiful, and they did such a fantastic job with this movie, man.
That was what he's doing.
I think he also does a very good job of like the mechanics are obviously like we've talked about, like if you explain the mechanics too much, it like kind of lose yourself. So you kind of just have to enjoy this book. Honestly, but it still kind of holds your hand through what's happening.
This is the third time I'm watching this within the last like 7 months, and I still don't understand what the mechanics of this third act is with the what do you call it, the temporal pincer. I understand that.
So,
but what's going on with the action itself? I don't understand. Like the building blowing up. I don't know.
The blue team is going backwards. The red team is going forward. As they're going through time simultaneously, the blue team is going to try to stop everything that's happening. The red team is going to try to catch the algorithm. That's the movie.
Yeah.
They're trying to catch the rabbit's foot?
Yeah.
Mission Impossible?
They're trying to go to the rabbit's foot.
Mia, what about Mission
Seymour
Impossible?
Hoffman will show up any minute.
Is that too much?
Despite Tom Cruise, never seen a single one.
Okay, can we do a mission series instead of what do you call it?
I mean, that's
hot
fair.
take though.
Hey,
I can tell that he's short. Like he reads short. And it makes me
He's very
no,
short.
he's short in the movies too.
Mia,
he doesn't
so
know. Yeah.
question about Miami, just because I was just in Clearwater. Is there just like a really heavy
What's that?
Scientology presence there?
Oh my
Clearwater?
God. Yes.
Yes.
So, okay, that's
yes.
why I was asking. We went to Clearwater recently, and there was
Where's
this giant.
Clearwater?
It's like next to Tampa. It's like
I'm
really.
not from
It's like,
Miami.
oh, okay. So it's. I mean, but you're saying that there's a huge Scientology presence there, though.
Well, I don't know about huge, but there is. I mean, similar to LA though. It's just you drive by it and you're like, holy shit, how do they afford a building this big on a street this busy?
They're tax exempt.
You'll have to see
That's
the one
true.
that they have in Clearwater. Like, look it up because it looks like a mansion. Like, it looks like a giant mansion.
It doesn't surprise
castle.
me though. Florida's kind of a tax haven for evil people.
And
That's why I'm here.
So if you don't know the story,
and it looks like a church, but it's also. I mean, I guess it technically is, but
they all
the
look like a church.
Scientologists all like these literally stalked IRS agents. Like every time they left their house, they would follow them, and they got so fed up with the Scientology people following them that they just gave them tax exempt status. If y'all haven't seen Going Clear on HBO,
it's a good documentary.
Good documentary.
There's a few Scientology locations in Atlanta as well, and they're not as big, but they're very like they stand out. You can tell that they're there.
Yeah,
I remember when I went to New York.
I've always wanted to try and like how far could I get before they knew it was just a bit?
I had an
Uber don't do that. They will kidnap you.
Kidnap me. Yeah.
Katie Holmes basically had to break out of Scientology.
Shelley.
Yeah.
There's a whole
Shelley
thing with her. She had to, like,
is
hide a
missing
phone.
to this day.
Who's Shelley?
Shelley is David Miscavige's. Was it ex-wife or are they still married?
I mean, technically still married. So the guy who's the leader of it, the guy who like Tom Cruise's buddy with, that guy, his wife has just been missing, and it's to the point where
for like 20 years. For like
what?
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, they made a joke about it, like where it's like, oh, where's his wife? Oh no, she's missing, but she's kind of dead.
Like when you hear people like yell like where's Shelley like randomly, it's like literally like where's Shelley Miscavige?
I thought you were talking about Chevy Duvall.
Hi, I'm Shelley Duvall.
R.I.P. the Queen.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, I like Tom Cruise. He's got this whole weird thing with Scientology, but he's alright.
He's literally evil.
Yeah, but who is it?
His daughter, his daughter dropped Cruise from her name the day she turned 18. He had.
Don't get me wrong.
Do you know how evil you have to be?
He's not a good person. It's like Brad Pitt. Like
he's a terrible.
I'm not saying he's a good person.
There's certain.
Brad Pitt's kind of the same way.
There's certain. Let's not separate the art from the artist because it's just such a clear track record of them being clear abusers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe in that idea? Separating the art from the artist, or is that a no immediately?
Yeah, for someone who's like a piece of shit, but not for someone who's actually like a bad person. There's a difference between being and
It's like Polanski.
So I get Polanski.
Yeah, exactly. Not Polanski, but who's problematic but not evil.
Kubrick.
Exactly.
Kubrick.
So like that's a yes. You can separate the art there.
Yeah.
I guess, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
They ask Brad Pitt about his daughter all the time, like on interviews, and he like it's so hard for him to like deflect any of it. He's just trying to like not be weird about it. It's interesting to see how he tackles it all.
But it's all of his kids. I mean,
it's all of his kids. All of his kids. Yeah, they've watched him beat their mom.
Yeah,
that's why like at this point where I'm like, I can't give anybody a lot of hype. I can't I can respect your work, but we
Allegedly,
don't know who you are. You know
who else is problematic that we can like still enjoy?
Like Denis Villeneuve, we've been talking about him. I hear nothing but great things about him from everybody.
Oh my god,
bro! Armie Hammer is probably the big one. Oh, actually, we were just talking about it, but like Sam Levinson.
Yeah.
Piece of shit, dude.
That one really
like, you can still watch his
it,
stuff, not even in like a artistic way, because everything is so clearly about him. Like he makes everything to like be that kind of way. But what I mean is just that, like you can still enjoy it. It's just kind of gross and icky.
Do y'all know the story about Kenneth Branagh? How he was married to Emma Thompson, who is whatever Professor Trelawney in whatever the Harry Potter movie.
Yeah.
And then he cheated on her with Helena Bonham Carter, who is Bellatrix, right? If I
but then Tim Burton cheated on Helena Bonham Carter with
exactly
Monica Bellucci.
Yep. And now they're together.
Hold up a second. I didn't know that he cheated on her or that they cheated on.
Yeah.
I'm learning everything I can on this.
That's why Emma Thompson is a lovely woman, and I'm like, how could you do like for me? It's like,
I love
how
that
could you
fucking
do that
shit.
to your partner? Yeah, I know, it's fantastic.
Sorry, I got locked in for a second. That's crazy. I actually didn't know that.
It's like Rachel Weisz and Daniel Craig. Like Rachel Weisz was married to Darren Aronofsky for while they like got their relationship together.
Yeah.
But then,
she saw Daniel Craig and was like, "Hey."
Oh no, never mind. That wasn't
also
him.
dated Jennifer Lawrence, like as they were getting divorced, I think.
Yeah.
Doesn't she have a kid with him? No.
No, she just had a kid. But she didn't have a kid with Darren Aronofsky. She just had a kid with somebody else. I can't remember what his name is. He's like an art dealer or something.
Does she have like
her husband?
She's got 2 kids. Yeah, her husband. I don't know his name.
whatever the hell his name is.
Whatever the fuck his name is. The protagonist? I don't fucking know.
He's the narrator. Oh, Kenneth Branagh. He's gonna do some Shakespeare later.
Have y'all seen like a Frankenstein movie?
Have you done how do you feel about Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet?
I kind of like it.
I like
kind of
good. No.
Fun.
I love that movie. I love
kind
that
of.
movie.
I haven't rewatched it since I was.
Wait, what is your opinion
in
on
high
it?
school?
It's amazing. It's literally a masterpiece.
I watched it in high school.
It is fantastic.
I watched it in high school.
I think we all watched it in high school.
I was like,
I watched it in high school, but that also was like one of the first like intersections where I was like, oh my god, film is so like this is what it can
That's
be.
where I was like,
what?
I was like, wait, they have guns?
But that's like his best movie, honestly.
Honestly,
Romeo plus Juliet.
I hate all of his other movies.
Yeah, that's his best movie because there's such an energy to
like
the
Australia.
Yeah.
He is Australian. He's very
all
Australian.
the stuff with his like the way he films the movie, it feels so Tarantino, but the whatever the iambic pentameter, like keeping the actual like Shakespeare dialogue, it worked.
That was insane.
And it's like it's a bad idea, great movie.
But it wasn't just modern. It was camp. It was so over the top.
So camp.
It was
the opening scene with the guns and everything at the gas station,
and
bro.
oh my god,
it's so good.
No one has ever portrayed a character better than what's his name from Lost? He played
Mercutio. Yes,
yes.
It's a good show. It's called From. It's a horror show. Really good. You're talking. I forgot his name. He's such a good actor.
I like the Scorsese adaptation, but I need to rewatch it.
Yes, Harold Perrineau. What a G.
Yeah, I think I own it. I want to say I own it, but I want to rewatch it now that you all are like hyping it up.
But it's because it's good. It's like
so amazing.
Understand
it's so
that
beautiful.
By the time like Leo and Claire are like in the pool, like it's just such a vibe.
Even that scene where he's coming in, where she's like laid to rest with all of those candles, those hand lit candles. Oh my god,
beautiful.
It's so like
beautiful.
It's so gothic and Catholic and
make more movies like that.
Mia, have you seen this with the commentary?
Midsummer Night's Dream would be fucking perfect. Much Ado About Nothing would be perfect.
Yes. Because I was actually looking that up.
Made all of those.
They haven't made a lot of Midsummer Night's Dream.
Made all of those.
Bro, the one with Keanu Reeves and Denzel.
Yeah. Much Ado About Nothing. Yeah.
They gotta make it modern, like. Or not a modern, but like they have to make it more like, I don't know, change it up, make it more compelling.
They need to make it more Shakespearean is what they need, not make it more modern. They actually need to revert a little bit back and keep like they need something. It either has to be or I'd like to see it flip. I'd like to see something Shakespearean with modern dialogue that's the same storytelling.
So Mia, did you watch the
Planet of the
Tragedy
Apes
Macbeth
Sorry?
adaptation that came out recently? The
Say
one
that
that
again?
the Tragedy Macbeth, the one that Denzel is in. Did you watch that one? The Coen brothers?
No.
I feel like you like it.
Do I need to bump it on my list? Okay.
It's pretty solid.
Full-on Shakespeare.
To be fair, it's like full on Shakespeare, and some people like
I
just
love
didn't
that.
like that. But
it's
I
black
loved
and
it.
white also, but like the movie.
The movie poster is very distinct in my head because it's a very powerful image of Denzel.
You said you have
post that.
You're
This
on
is
Apple
one of the
TV
best
for
things
this. It's on Apple TV Plus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you can watch it like it's streaming on there.
I love Apple TV Productions, and they're doing good things.
Have you watched that Alfonso show, the new one?
Disclaimer.
I got through the first episode.
I did too. Haven't picked it up since. I started the first episode and I've just not been like urged to like go back and watch it. But I thought it was good.
A guy went to high school.
Just didn't grab me.
Is in Tragedy Macbeth. Matt Helm. He plays Donald.
Like
what's his name? Neville Longbottom is in Macbeth. He's fantastic.
He plays his brother.
Oh my God.
The guy I went to high school with plays his like brother in Macbeth.
Wait, hold on, Vikash. The guy that
Yeah.
you're talking about in Macbeth, it's the guy that plays his brother in Harry Potter, isn't it? It's not Neville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not Neville. My bad.
No,
It's the guy that plays his brother. I can't remember what his name
Dudley.
is.
Dudley.
And he was
Yeah.
in the Devil all the time too. Like, just made a comeback for like a year.
Dudley
in,
was his
in-
cousin. Dudley was the asshole kid.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
He was in,
now he's much skinnier now. He's a fantastic actor,
was in
actually.
He's in the Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
And
He
he's in
is, actually,
he's
yeah.
the old guard. He was
He
the
was in the
villain
Devil all the
old guard.
time.
Yeah. Yeah, a guy I went to high school with is in Tragedy of Macbeth. I was in the theater. I was like, oh, I know that guy.
I know you.
Also, one of the leads on one of those like cop shows. What is it on CBS? What is it? FBI.
Yeah,
FBI,
yeah.
yes, 911,
Uh,
fucking FBI, whatever they're all
No, but he
called.
knows the FBI guy.
The male lead on that used to party in my basement in high school.
Okay, favorite one season show.
Favorite one season show?
That's tough.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I don't
True
watch enough shows
Detective
that-
season 1.
Are you talking about like
That's
like
not
it's a
a one
mini
season
series?
show.
I think she's saying like a
I
show
don't-
that
I
only
don't
got
count
one
the other
season.
ones.
No,
No,
that's
but it
not-
has to be
that's
literally
like
one
fifth
season.
Are you talking about like
Okay,
mini
favorite
series?
one season
Got canceled,
IP.
right? Like a
Okay.
show that didn't go past the season, like
Yeah,
got
exactly.
Or a
canceled
mini-
maybe.
Or
Just
a
because it's an
miniseries.
anthology doesn't mean it didn't go past the season.
Yeah, that's
Just because that
I
was
like
your
that.
favorite season and they
That's
didn't keep the same actors
What
doesn't.
she's saying. I rock
Sharp
with that.
Objects with Amy Adams.
That was planned as a season though. That doesn't count.
Yeah, no, okay,
That
yeah,
was
it can't
planned
be a
to be
limited
one
series.
season. It was planned to
So
be a
it's
like
one
one season.
season.
It doesn't count. It has to be a season
That
that
was a
got
limited
canceled.
series. See, yeah.
That like they was
Freaks and
meant to go
Geeks.
past the season. I was gonna say Freaks and Geeks was like the one I could think
Freaks
of.
and Geeks is that one is standard.
Firefly.
Was Pushing Daisies one season?
But they made a movie. Pushing Daisies
Yeah.
was like 2, I think.
Okay.
Firefly
There was a
Um,
show
only got a
with,
movie though because the first season like
Jericho.
season 2 got
I mean,
canceled.
Another show,
Jericho was
Jericho.
so good. Jericho,
but then
okay.
They did
That's
come
a good
back
one.
as the
I haven't
fans
heard
were
about
dead.
Jericho in like 15
Jericho is a
years.
great fucking show. That's a
I
great
watched that for the
was.
first time in like 2016.
I love that show.
I watched it after it came out.
But I guess that doesn't really count because it did get a second season. But
Did they?
yeah, yeah, they gave it an ending. The ending wasn't very good. But the
I
first
don't
Did the
watch-
OA have a second season? Yeah, it did.
I don't
Yeah, it
watch
did.
enough TV to know an answer for this. I'll be honest.
You
I
don't
watched too much TV to the point where like not a lot of good shows get canceled in our first season. I mean, maybe The Grinder. It was a comedy show with Rob Lowe, where it's like super meta, but it was quite funny. That's
My
about
thing
it.
with TV Mio right now is just that like movies are so easy for me to watch because the minute you pop one in, it's like there's an ending already in place. With shows,
Yeah.
especially with streaming right now,
They pull it.
I
they
do
get
like a
pulled
limited
so
series for
easy.
that reason. Yeah.
I hate watching a show and not being able to finish it and not knowing what happens. So like the only time I'll ever watch a show that's like actually running is if I know it's on its last season or the show's already over and I know I
Yeah.
can watch it to the end.
Yeah.
Like it is
Yeah.
very rare I will start a new show for that reason. It
That's
pisses me
fair.
off the way that
True.
streaming has changed everything.
yeah.
Mia, have you seen Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul?
It's beautiful. It is beautiful and it's so funny, but I fell off halfway through the first season.
For
Which
which
one?
Better Call
Breaking Bad.
Saul, but I've seen Breaking Bad. I've seen every episode of that.
I have
I
a hot
will-
take on Better Call Saul and Breaking
Yeah,
Bad. I
me
think
and
Better-
Let's
Pat
hear
are
it.
on the same page.
Let's
We're on
hear
the
it.
What
same
is
Better Call
it?
page. Say it.
Saul,
Say
Better
it.
Call Saul is way better written than Breaking Bad.
That's the truth, honestly. Like the highs of Breaking Bad are higher in some sense, but when it comes to like the characters and like
Character, Better
when
Call
it gets
Saul
to the
is
back end of Better Call Saul, it's tragic. It's what you look for with that world, except there's a little bit less action.
Yeah, there's not much action in Better Call Saul. It's a lot of talking.
Sometimes you got to shoot your
Mad
husband.
Men. It's like mad.
Yeah.
You were talking about Gone Girl, and I was like, yeah, that's like that.
It's my
movie-
favorite rom-com.
Yeah, it's a good
The
rom-com.
legacy of that movie is like it's shifted from where it's like where it was in 2014, and now like
That movie
it's for
changed
the
a
girls.
lot
Like,
Yeah.
of,
it's good for her movie.
Today I
And-
bought a gun.
Day I bought a gun.
Yeah.
It's a good book too. I like all the books from Gillian Flynn.
Actually, Gillian Flynn, she co-wrote Widows.
Widows, you're
There you
right.
go.
I was gonna say as soon
I'm
as you
sorry,
said that, like,
I'm being such a nerd. Now I gotta go watch it.
we should do a Steve McQueen episode and skip Blitz.
Skip Blitz.
I'm looking
No
at
shade.
Pat.
I was
I'm
saying we,
looking
we
at
should
Pat.
do a. I was saying we should do a Steve McQueen series for all this
Oh,
glass.
I hate that.
that drop right there is so.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point, isn't
glass
it?
that like you can hear it as she's like pushing him. It's so fucking gross. It's cool though.
Isn't that like a real like super expensive yacht too, right?
I'm sure
They
it
had
is.
they probably had to get that cleared. I don't know.
It's hard
The stunt
to.
guy that ate that, he made it look good.
I don't think it was it. It might have been a dummy.
It might. You're right. You're right.
Have y'all seen-
when he hit the water, that was a stuntman. When he hit
there was two different shots though.
Yeah.
When he hits when it's from the bottom, like you can
Hitting
see from
the
the
rail
top,
and
that
then
might have
hitting
been
the
a dummy,
water.
and then the guy actually like falling might have been a real stunt guy.
Yeah.
I don't think it was the same guy for both shots.
Nolan knows tension, man. He's just like, you just hope that he's getting out. It's like they got out.
Hey, that's Batman.
The Batman.
Personal-
Bruce Wayne, thoughts on the Batman?
The Batman is great, but nothing will ever live up to Christian Bale and Chris Nolan's Batman to me, unfortunately. But I do love Robert Pattinson. I love Zoe. Like it was beautiful. It was great, and I love the
feel
Penguin
very
series.
different.
They feel
And
very different, and I can
Penguin is
appreciate them
great.
separately. But I don't have like I have.
No, I agree.
It's not the same level of obsession. Like that was
100%.
that. Yeah, that was like
The Batman is fantastic, but it's working off of Nolan's movies, right? So it's like for people who are comparing it bar for bar, I don't see the comparison to be made because
The Batman,
Nolan changed the game, period.
yeah.
The Batman has such a different like tone and feel to it. in terms of,
Completely.
like,
He's
the
a
way that
different
it's
he's a
Fincher
different
movie.
version of Batman. And as someone who like if you actually are a fan of the comic, you know that there are so many different versions of Batman. There's so many different eras and like even from the animated series to like there's a lot of different routes that can be taken in the portrayal of him.
I think.
So
the
you're
big thing
telling me
with,
you're a
like, the
fan of Batman the animated series?
Batman the animated series, I am.
Wait,
The Batman.
One of us.
the greatest Batman film ever made is Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. That is the greatest Batman film ever made, hands down.
Beautiful movie.
I do think like the thing that kind of holds him in such high regard too is that like the Batman from Matt Reeves with Robert Pattinson kind of feels more like a mystery movie and it's a detective story.
Oh yeah, it's a detective movie.
And it's
a spooky
feels
Halloween
like
movie.
It's a spooky Halloween movie, whereas like the Dark
Happy
Knight
fucking
trilogy,
Halloween.
It's an
the Dark
origin
Knight
story.
especially.
It's an origin story and an ending.
Well, let's just, for the sake of this argument, say that the Batman Begins and Dark Knight Rises doesn't exist, and we're just competing with the Dark Knight and the Batman. The Dark Knight is more of like an espionage spy film.
Yeah,
at its
It's a crime
core,
movie.
and you can really feel that. It's a crime movie. I mean, you have all the shit that's happening in this movie happening in the same story.
yeah.
Like they're breaking into places to try and get information. They're trying to like get information out of some guy in like, was it Hong Kong?
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to stop a crime boss from like getting all the money in Gotham. They're trying to like fix all the corruption in the city.
And then the Batman is more like in the gutters of the city. It's in the like it's underground. It's more like that. They're very different.
And
the
Matt
Batman
Reeves,
isn't like trying
and
to
very different.
cause a
Like
spectacle.
the Batman and Bruce Wayne's mentality are very different. Where he is in his life are very different. Where like those movies
and
pick
we
up.
don't really see anything from Bruce for the most part, right? We see him at maybe the funeral scene, but like like the classic like whatever what's his name, Christian Bale being Bruce is like some of the best stuff I've ever seen. Like I love those scenes. Like, oh, I just bought the hotel. Like, come on. Like, I want to see that from Pattinson in the second movie. I don't know if we will, but I mean, I would love
I don't think he's there. His mental health is not there in this.
No,
Who do you guys think? Who do you guys want as the villain for the Batman 2? I'm kind of hoping for a Mr. Freeze, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I mean, I know that we're probably getting Clayface, but who do you guys want?
Honestly,
as a villain.
If you want to hear a deep cut, Scarface. I want Scarface, like the puppet guy. Like, just throw something weird into there, and they can make it work.
Have you guys ever played like the Arkham games?
Yep.
Like the Mr. Freeze stuff is so good now.
So good, yeah.
Wait, we're already friends the whole time? Yep.
We're friends the whole time. What's happened.
I was your best man at your
Express
wedding.
faith in the mechanics of the world.
Look at that hair.
Oh my God, both of them look so objectively attractive.
Yes,
Like
ma'am.
those are beautiful
handsome as fuck.
scenes.
Look at
He's
that jawline.
glowing. He's glistening.
The swagger of Robert Pattinson right there. We need to see it in Batman, okay? Because he's so good.
I can't even imagine him smiling in that role.
Yeah, I understand that. He's so angsty.
I love these little moments. This ties everything together. Like, even if you don't understand the movie, it's like this shit right here makes everything worth it.
It's beautiful.
Look at that Denzel swagger.
If you guys could get a sequel to any Nolan movie that's not the Batman, what is it?
My cousin would say this right here, actually.
Inception.
Inception
Really?
would be mine too.
Inception?
Yeah, honestly.
Because
Yeah,
that
that'd
one
be
left
mine.
off that one left off at a up to you.
Okay,
But I
so
think the thing
Mia,
about Inception is that like the whole thing
Prestige.
about like going into dreams, you could do so many movies
Yeah.
with that concept.
so both of you guys have homework if you're both going to say Inception. The next time that we have our Oppenheimer episode, I want to hear the plot summary for Inception 2 that you guys would pitch.
Oh,
I
no.
already
Don't do
have-
it right now.
I
No?
can do it right now because I wrote a Inception short in high school.
I'm just
Oh
thinking
my
it'd be
god,
fun
that's
to do.
iconic. I'm saying no because it's like they're gonna end up at like Epcot drinking around the world, and he's not gonna know. Like I don't know. It's gonna.
No. We don't need like a play-by-play of the whole story. Just plot summary of what we would do with Inception 2.
So
Like, what's
I
the
made
plot?
it. I made it like an origin story kind of thing where it's like the film would start in the forest and you see the guys, they're sitting in chairs for some reason, and then it's kind of like a horror movie, but it's like about the science of how they made this stuff and it kind of
Dude,
going wrong at
actually,
first and like people
Inception
getting really
with
lost
horror,
within it.
Like,
Yeah.
Nolan's been
that's-
saying he wants to do horror. Like, give
I've
us
been
a
thinking
nightmare
about it, man.
dream.
I take
Yeah.
it back. I want a fourth Batman.
Oh, really? Okay, so who's the villain then?
Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze, Mr. Zaz.
Mr. Matt Damon as Riddler.
No.
No, so that was actually
Okay,
supposed
I
to
want
alright,
a,
happen.
I want a
so-
That's why I'm
Dunkirk
saying it,
sequel. I want a Dunkirk sequel. Actually, it's just World War II D-Day.
but- No, I'm good.
Oh my god.
Saving
that's
Private
funny.
Saving Christopher Nolan, Saving Private
it's just
Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan. Yeah.
I would love
Shot
for him
Star-
to do another spy movie. Honestly, like, come on, like
That's
it
all he
doesn't have
knows
to be.
how to make. I think everything is always gonna have a layer of spy to it.
Yeah, especially
Winding
the
up,
Bond
man.
stuff. There's a lot of Bond stuff.
Got
Oh,
Travis
yo, the
Scott.
plan, crank the plan.
You got Travis
Rank
Scott.
it up.
This was so good.
Thank you for joining us, Mia.
Thanks for having me.
This podcast is hosted and edited by Pat Brennan. That's me, with intro and closing music by Patrick Baxter.